We live in a society in which structural racism is a very real thing. We are all dealing with that in every aspect of our lives, and the media is a reflection of our community.
Historically, black people have been portrayed a certain way in the media to justify normative assumptions around political and social issues.
More black people behind the cameras, in front of the cameras, more producers, more people of color producing, so they can go and get the content that's needed so they can highlight our attributes.
I've been in this industry for 15 years, and I've seen firsthand how our voices just aren't heard. Even if you're in the newsroom, sometimes you get completely ignored and stereotypes are allowed to perpetuate. And one thing we want to do is combat that and also bring information to people so they can be as informed as possible when choices are made in this city, so they can do whatever they can to get their voices heard.
What I believe can be done about the situation is to have more people of color creating news stories, more people who have an interest in and a social consciousness that relates to the stories that they're telling.
Charlottesville Tomorrow looks at these issues. We can present them on IMHO. Vinegar Hill Magazine can take that a step further, and just together we can just make this thing that can be an example of how we can change the media landscape, how we can be more inclusive to get these voices in, to get these people heard. That's just one thing that doesn't happen in so many places, and it's a shame.
We think we live in a society that's very progressive, and we're talking about equity and diversity and inclusion and all these things. Still, the way that black people, and I would say, and I would argue especially black men, are portrayed by the media is incredibly dangerous, and you've seen the sort of tangible violence that it's led to over the past year.
The community can support the SIM project by first and foremost giving us an opportunity. We understand that it can be difficult to give trust right now, especially considering the current social and political environment. But this project will only be as successful as the community allows it to be. And so we ask you to give us the opportunity to do the work, critique the work, and make sure that we stay aligned with the vision. Another way that the community can get behind the SIM project is through engagement. We want to hear from you. We want to know what you're talking about. We want to put your stories out there. And so whether it's reading the articles written by Charlottesville Tomorrow or Vinegar Hill Magazine, or tuning in to In My Humble Opinion on Sundays on 101.3 Jams from noon to 3 p.m., either way, we want you engaged. We want you to be part of this. The community can also support the SIM project through funding. To learn more about how to support SIM, you can visit our website. Thank you for your support.
IMHO Talk Show. Sir Charles, Miss Max Razor.
You're listening to In My Humble Opinion with Maxilia Robinson and Charles Lewis. Only on 101.3 Jams.
Architects of the Pentagon.
IMHO Talk Show. Sir Charles, Miss Max Razor.
You're listening to In My Humble Opinion with Maxilia Robinson and Charles Lewis. Only on 101.3 Jams.
We live in a society in which structural racism is a very real thing. We are all dealing with that in every aspect of our lives, and the media is a reflection of our community.
Historically, black people have been portrayed a certain way in the media to justify normative assumptions around political and social issues.
More black people behind the cameras, in front of the cameras, more producers, more people of color producing, so they can go and get the content that's needed so they can highlight our attributes.
I've been in this industry for 15 years, and I've seen firsthand how our voices just aren't heard. Even if you're in the newsroom, sometimes you get completely ignored and stereotypes are allowed to perpetuate. And one thing we want to do is combat that and also bring information to people so they can be as informed as possible when choices are made in this city, so they can do whatever they can to get their voices heard.
What I believe can be done about the situation is to have more people of color creating news stories, more people who have a interest in and a social consciousness that relates to the stories that they're telling.
Charlottesville Tomorrow looks at these issues. We can present them on IMHO. Vinegar Hill Magazine can take that a step further, and just together we can just make this thing that can be an example of how we can change the media landscape, how we can be more inclusive to get these voices in, to get these people heard. That's just one thing that doesn't happen in so many places, and it's a shame.
We think we live in a society that's very progressive, and we're talking about equity and diversity and inclusion and all these things. Still, the way that black people, and I would say, and I would argue especially black men, are portrayed by the media is incredibly dangerous, and you've seen the sort of tangible violence that it's led to over the past year.
The community can support the SIM project by first and foremost giving us an opportunity. We understand that it can be difficult to give trust right now, especially considering the current social and political environment. But this project will only be as successful as the community allows it to be. And so we ask you to give us the opportunity to do the work, critique the work, and make sure that we stay in line with the vision. Another way that the community can get behind the SIM project is through engagement. We want to hear from you. We want to know what you're talking about. We want to put your stories out there. And so whether it's reading the articles written by Charlottesville Tomorrow or Vinegar Hill Magazine, or tuning in to In My Humble Opinion on Sundays on 101.3 Jams from noon to 3 p.m., either way, we want you engaged. We want you to be part of this. The community can also support the SIM project through funding. To learn more about how to support SIM, you can visit our website. Thank you for your support.
IMHO Talk Show. Sir Charles, Miss Max, Razor.
You're listening to In My Humble Opinion with Maxilia Robinson and Charles Lewis. Only on 1013 Jams.
We live in a society in which structural racism is a very real thing. We are all dealing with that in every aspect of our lives, and the media is a reflection of our community.
Historically, black people have been portrayed a certain way in the media to justify normative assumptions around political and social issues.
More black people behind the cameras, in front of the cameras, more producers, more people of color producing, so they can go and get the content that's needed so they can highlight our attributes.
I've been in this industry for 15 years, and I've seen firsthand how our voices just aren't heard. Even if you're in the newsroom, sometimes you get completely ignored and stereotypes are allowed to perpetuate. And one thing we want to do is combat that and also bring information to people so they can be as informed as possible when choices are made in this city, so they can do whatever they can to get their voices heard.
What I believe can be done about the situation is to have more people of color creating news stories, more people who have a interest in and a social consciousness that relates to the stories that they're telling.
Charlottesville Tomorrow looks at these issues. We can present them on IMHO. Vinegar Hill Magazine can take that a step further, and just together we can just make this thing that can be an example of how we can change the media landscape, how we can be more inclusive to get these voices in, to get these people heard. That's just one thing that doesn't happen in so many places, and it's a shame.
We think we live in a society that's very progressive, and we're talking about equity and diversity and inclusion and all these things. Still, the way that black people, and I would say, and I would argue especially black men, are portrayed by the media is incredibly dangerous, and you've seen the sort of tangible violence that it's led to over the past year.
The community can support the SIM project by first and foremost giving us an opportunity. We understand that it can be difficult to give trust right now, especially considering the current social and political environment. But this project will only be as successful as the community allows it to be. And so we ask you to give us the opportunity to do the work, critique the work, and make sure that we stay in line with the vision. Another way that the community can get behind the SIM project is through engagement. We want to hear from you. We want to know what you're talking about. We want to put your stories out there. And so whether it's reading the articles written by Charlottesville Tomorrow or Vinegar Hill Magazine, or tuning in to In My Humble Opinion on Sundays on 101.3 Jams from noon to 3 p.m., either way, we want you engaged. We want you to be part of this. The community can also support the SIM project through funding. To learn more about how to support SIM, you can visit our website. Thank you for your support.
IMHO Talk Show. Sir Charles, Miss Max, Razor.
You're listening to In My Humble Opinion with Maxilia Robinson and Charles Lewis. Only on 1013 Jams.
We live in a society in which structural racism is a very real thing. We are all dealing with that in every aspect of our lives, and the media is a reflection of our community.
Historically, black people have been portrayed a certain way in the media to justify normative assumptions around political and social issues.
More black people behind the cameras, in front of the cameras, more producers, more people of color producing, so they can go and get the content that's needed so they can highlight our attributes.
I've been in this industry for 15 years, and I've seen firsthand how our voices just aren't heard. Even if you're in the newsroom, sometimes you get completely ignored and stereotypes are allowed to perpetuate. And one thing we want to do is combat that and also bring information to people so they can be as informed as possible when choices are made in the city, so they can do whatever they can to get their voices heard.
What I believe can be done about the situation is to have more people of color creating news stories, more people who have a interest in and a social consciousness that relates to the stories that they're telling.
Charlottesville Tomorrow looks at these issues. We can present them on IMHO. Vinegar Hill Magazine can take that a step further, and just together we can just make this thing that can be an example of how we can change the media landscape, how we can be more inclusive to get these voices in, to get these people heard. That's just one thing that doesn't happen in so many places, and it's a shame.
We think we live in a society that's very progressive, and we're talking about equity and diversity and inclusion and all these things. Still, the way that black people, and I would say, and I would argue especially black men, are portrayed by the media is incredibly dangerous, and you've seen the sort of tangible violence that it's led to over the past year.
The community can support the SIM project by first and foremost giving us an opportunity. We understand that it can be difficult to give trust right now, especially considering the current social and political environment. But this project will only be as successful as the community allows it to be. And so we ask you to give us the opportunity to do the work, critique the work, and make sure that we stay in line with the vision. Another way that the community can get behind the SIM project is through engagement. We want to hear from you. We want to know what you're talking about. We want to put your stories out there. And so whether it's reading the articles written by Charlottesville Tomorrow or Vinegar Hill Magazine, or tuning in to In My Humble Opinion on Sundays on 101.3 Jams from noon to 3 p.m., either way, we want you engaged. We want you to be part of this. The community can also support the SIM project through funding. To learn more about how to support SIM, you can visit our website. Thank you for your support.
We live in a society in which structural racism is a very real thing. We are all dealing with that in every aspect of our lives, and the media is a reflection of our community.
Historically, black people have been portrayed a certain way in the media to justify normative assumptions around political and social issues.
More black people behind the cameras, in front of the cameras, more producers, more people of color producing, so they can go and get the content that's needed so they can highlight our attributes.
I've been in this industry for 15 years, and I've seen firsthand how our voices just aren't heard. Even if you're in the newsroom, sometimes you get completely ignored and stereotypes are allowed to perpetuate. And one thing we want to do is combat that and also bring information to people so they can be as informed as possible when choices are made in the city, so they can do whatever they can to get their voices heard.
What I believe can be done about the situation is to have more people of color creating news stories, more people who have a interest in and a social consciousness that relates to the stories that they're telling.
Charlottesville Tomorrow looks at these issues. We can present them on IMHO. Vinegar Hill Magazine can take that a step further, and just together we can just make this thing that can be an example of how we can change the media landscape, how we can be more inclusive to get these voices in, to get these people heard. That's just one thing that doesn't happen in so many places, and it's a shame.
We think we live in a society that's very progressive, and we're talking about equity and diversity and inclusion and all these things. Still, the way that black people, and I would say, and I would argue, especially black men, are portrayed by the media is incredibly dangerous, and you've seen the sort of tangible violence that it's led to over the past year.
The community can support the SIM project by first and foremost giving us an opportunity. We understand that it can be difficult to give trust right now, especially considering the current social and political environment. But this project will only be as successful as the community allows it to be. And so we ask you to give us the opportunity to do the work, critique the work, and make sure that we stay aligned with the vision. Another way that the community can get behind the SIM project is through engagement. We want to hear from you. We want to know what you're talking about. We want to put your stories out there. And so whether it's reading the articles written by Charlottesville Tomorrow or Vinegar Hill Magazine, or tuning in to In My Humble Opinion on Sundays on 101.3 Jams from noon to 3 p.m., either way, we want you engaged. We want you to be part of this. The community can also support the SIM project through funding. To learn more about how to support SIM, you can visit our website. Thank you for your support.
IMHO Talk Show. Sir Charles, Miss Max Razor.
You're listening to In My Humble Opinion with Maxilia Robinson and Charles Lewis. Only on 101.3 Jams.
IMHO Talk Show. Sir Charles, Miss Max Razor.
You're listening to In My Humble Opinion with Maxilia Robinson and Charles Lewis. Only on 101.3 Jams.
We live in a society in which structural racism is a very real thing. We are all dealing with that in every aspect of our lives, and the media is a reflection of our community.
Historically, black people have been portrayed a certain way in the media to justify normative assumptions around political and social issues.
More black people behind the cameras, in front of the cameras, more producers, more people of color producing, so they can go and get the content that's needed so they can highlight our attributes.
I've been in this industry for 15 years, and I've seen firsthand how our voices just aren't heard. Even if you're in the newsroom, sometimes you get completely ignored and stereotypes are allowed to perpetuate. And one thing we want to do is combat that and also bring information to people so they can be as informed as possible when choices are made in the city, so they can do whatever they can to get their voices heard.
What I believe can be done about the situation is to have more people of color creating news stories, more people who have a interest in and a social consciousness that relates to the stories that they're telling.
Charlottesville Tomorrow looks at these issues. We can present them on IMHO. Vinegar Hill Magazine can take that a step further, and just together we can just make this thing that can be an example of how we can change the media mind.
HO Talk Show. We still here in the booth in the building, still standing. And as we said, if you haven't told a friend, you should tell a friend, because as always, we take Seville to the world and bring the world to Seville.
Right.
And what better way to do that than through your media landscape, Miss Max? You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
You know, because in my humble opinion, talk show, like we said, 10 years strong, right? And the brother we got sitting right in between us right about now, like such a pleasure to have him in here with us, because like we cut our teeth together. Like, do people still say that, cut your teeth?
I've never heard that in my entire life.
Come on, bro.
This is my first time hearing that. I was very startled by it.
Yeah.
You didn't say anything else. I was going to ask you about it later. But
Yeah.
continue. It sounds good.
No, I've definitely heard it before, but I appreciate this
See, we're a
guy
little more country
that's
than him.
joining
Okay.
that's joining us today. And what I like is the authenticity
Yes, indeed.
that you bring along with you. So appreciate you. Right up front. There you go.
Yeah.
Nah, I've never heard it before.
Yes, indeed, man. So talk about none other than Chris Newman, VA Doe, my brother, man. How you feeling this Sunday afternoon?
You know, man, I'm feeling a little weird, bro. I didn't think me sitting up in 101 Jam Studios was how I was going to end the year, but
Hey,
here we are.
That's
so
right. Look at God.
I didn't have that on my bingo card, so it's like, you know, a lot of nostalgia's going on right now. It's been a long time since I've been here, so
loving it, man. And so as we said, man, so this is, you know, like we're going on 10 years strong, man. 10 years deep. You know, IMHO being in existence, man.
Right.
And part of that is thinking about the history of when folks said that there was no hip hop, no urban like radio, like no even the podcast sector. If you think about 10 years ago, like that didn't even
it wasn't a
exist.
thing. Yeah.
Right. Like so when you so how does it feel, man, to think about, you know, going from the boombox days when we were trying to just get our music on there to then having our own shows to now you having a successful podcast, man.
Yeah.
Like you ever stop and think about your journey? Like when you were a young kid, teenager, rapping in the halls and everywhere, like did you think that like you'd be having a podcast of people wanting to come on and sit down and have conversations with you?
You know what, man? Not in a million years. I did not see that comment. Honestly, I didn't even think I was gonna have the love for media that I wound up having. You know, thanks to guys like, you know, you, Be Easy, Almighty, of course, like y'all kind of introduced me to broadcasting. And I don't think I even would have guessed that podcasting was even a thing if I didn't like develop a love for this first. And it's just so crazy how life turns out. You know, we all start off with one thing and then we branch off to other things and we grow. And you know, 10 years, a lot can and has happened in 10 years. You get what I'm saying? So it's crazy to see those landscapes that you make, but you know, God don't make mistakes, and you know, it ain't our plan to, you know what I mean?
That's right.
You know what I mean? We just gotta live it out, you know. So it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed,
So
man.
I'm curious though, while you know radio and podcasting may not have exactly been on your radar, you certainly believe that you had a voice and wanted to share that with people in some form or fashion. So can you talk more about that, of what you thought your voice was, what it is that you thought was important about it, that you needed to share it with people?
First things first, I love the sound of it.
Okay.
I love the sound of my
saying
own voice. I just do. I can talk to myself all day. If I didn't link with y'all, I'd be in my car right now having an in-depth conversation with myself. So I realized that even through, you know, me trolling and me being funny and me, you know, being, you know, more humorous than most times, I'm realizing that people still listen to what I gotta say. And sometimes I've had to learn the hard way that, you know, people listen to the stuff I actually say. So I have over time learned some sort of like control with that, so that I'm not just blabbing off at the mouth, and I'm very responsible with the things that I say and the things that I joke about. So it's like, it's taught me the boundaries that I don't think any other profession I've really worked at has. Like with rapping, I can really, that's how vast it is, you know. I can really just lyrically say whatever I want, you know, and I'm interviewing a person and this person may have a controversial past, right? They may not necessarily want to talk about that.
Okay.
We didn't discuss that before I interviewed you. Now, I got my boss, Doe Man, who's like, yes, ask the questions because we don't care. But I have integrity with what I do, so I don't think I would have learned that if I hadn't learned that, like, okay, this microphone is very powerful. When that light is on, people are listening. Be on point.
Right.
Yeah. We are talking to none other than VA Doe Chris Newman. Now speaking of, so we talking a little bit now about the Chris Newman show, right? Is that what's called?
Chris Newman podcast.
Chris Newman podcast. Yeah. But the VA Doe moniker kind of reared his head again this year because maybe off the heels of the whole Kendrick Drake thing and then like the Clips album, folks started recognizing, that the game may have been missing some real MCing. Yeah. So locally, somebody done awoke VA Doe. Tell us a little bit about that.
Man, all's fair in love and war. It's so much talent in Charlottesville, man. It's so many people with a voice and a vibe and a wave and their own little thing that they got going on. And it's a lot of, personalities in the town, with a lot of egos in the town. So I don't know why, but once we start handing out awards of any sort of kind in the 434, 804 area, if we do a top 10 producer, I could drop a top 10 producer list right now and start a complete war with every producer within the 540 area, 434. Like, it's like we just get so competitive when that happens. So when the Best of Black came up and they were talking about, the Best of Black artists, which I'm gonna be honest, man, as far as people that are putting out music, people that are consistent, it's not that many, man. You got Lady Tage, you got Lee Banger, you got LT when he feel like it. We don't have, like, who's gonna win it next year? We can't give it to Lee Banger a third year in a row. We can't. We just can't. You know what I'm saying? I feel we need to make some more rappers or something, or get a new category because it's very few and far between. So when that list comes out and people get upset about it, and people say, well, I'm the best, and then my 2 cents rarely helps anything. I don't know why. I just don't. Like I said, when I say, it go places sometimes. So, I ruffled a few feathers. So I got this. Like, I caught a stray. And within that stray, it was just, saying, oh, he was cool back then. He can't really do it anymore. He's not that good. And I was like, well, that's not true.
Right. Prove that wrong.
So let me go in the studio and rap again. And, as much as I loved putting those words together, as much as I go back to it and listen to it, and I'm like, oh my God, I went crazy on that. As much as I do that, I still am like, okay, that's done. Okay, back to what I was doing. Like,
Lex, you've been featured on like some Nathaniel Starr projects. Did you do something with AD Carson? I was thinking you did. Maybe.
Yeah, we did work together. It was vague. I don't know if I put a verse or anything, but we had worked together.
Got you. So outside of doing your own projects, like that sort of soothes the beast. You know what I mean?
And in like most cases, I don't know, man. Rap music ain't what it was 10 years ago.
Facts.
That's for sure. Yeah. So I personally don't like it very much anymore, to be honest. Like once Kanye West went all German on us, I was like, all right, yo, maybe I should have went to law school. Like maybe I should have did performing arts.
Was he holding the keys like that?
To me, because he was the top of it. I love Drake. Kendrick Lamar is my favorite lyricist ever, but I held Kanye to such a high pedestal. He was why I still love he is why I still love hip hop. But watching this man fall apart has me questioning things. Watching, I loved the Harlem Shake, man, in 2001. We was all doing it.
Yeah, for sure.
Take that money, raise that money. You can't. I work at a homeless shelter. They donated some Bad Boy clothing. It was Bad Boy record T-shirt, and I couldn't pay a person to take one of those shirts. Homeless people.
Yeah.
Hip hop's dead, bro. That's all. Admit it. Yeah. The people that we love, Jay-Z He don't want to do this no more. Like who's really keeping it going other than Kendrick and Drake? Them going at it with each other. It's like I really don't. It just doesn't you know, like
but you said something that I didn't want to lose point of is that the whole Seville has the talent, man, and like I was hopeful. Like with the battle that came out, because I was like, man, like this is bringing MCs back to the forefront. I was hopeful that we would maybe get a mixtape, maybe see some features, see some shows popping up. Seemed like it kind of fizzled out. Like through your years, what do you think is that missing ingredient to really take Seville talent to the next level?
Controversy.
Like we need controversy.
We need controversy. Okay. We need to be honest with how much we hate each other.
Okay.
We have to do it. That's what they want from us. That's what I have never seen the public care so much about local hip hop until we were airing out each other's dirty laundry. And that's deep. I got friends, man, best friends, people I've been friends with my entire life. They ignored my entire rap career. Like they never, you know, we all kick it, we all been thugging, we all was in the streets, but they would never be like, hey man, heard the mixtape, good work. Like they just would never acknowledge that I rap. They would call me every day like, yo, bro.
That's crazy.
You gonna diss him today or tomorrow? What you doing? Like I'm like, yo, y'all just want to see us kill each other, honestly. So
that's wild.
It's
what I think about
unfortunate, but that's the way of the world, man. We want to see it be exploited. Why do we watch car, you know, run around? I want to see one of them joints flip. I want to see one of those cars flip. I want to see an accident. And unfortunately, it's what sells nowadays. You know what I'm saying?
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's a very controversial statement, albeit I believe that is true. But where is the agency for us to define who we are, what we represent, what is rap, what is good rap? Like, why do we, you know, have to like respond in kind to controversy sells? So that's what we have to answer to.
It's horrible. I hate the thought of it.
Like,
honestly.
can we change it? Like, as a people, like, can we change? I feel like we could.
I feel like when I was really, really like pushing the music thing, I feel like that was what I was fighting for. I feel like I was fighting for the other side of the pillow. You know what I'm saying? In more ways than none. Looking at it from the outside in, like I didn't want to be the glitz glamour rapper. I didn't want to promote killing my brothers and beating on my sisters. I didn't want to make music like that, you know? So I had to get creative. I had to get really good. I had to get really exciting. I had to get really, you know, I had to open my mind in order to make music, be from the streets, not be a street dude and still get respect from the streets. That was what I really put it all into, and that's what I fought for. And as much as I get such a wonderful response from, you know, people like you, people like, you know, there's just people that would stop me in the street and be like, yo, Duck, you still got it. It's a lot of people that don't care about that either. So it's like, I know my audience and I know who I'm doing this for. And I'm doing this for the small majority of people that still have that integrity, that listen to music that make them feel something, you know, fast food is cool for the moment, but every once in a while, you know, you sit down and you cook something, you put some heart and soul into it. And I think that's what is important.
Yeah. Before Charles moves on to the next thing, I want to ask it based on your response. Are you saying that rappers are missing creativity to be able to rap about anything else?
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. I'm a big fan. I don't want to spend too much time on it though, but I'm a big fan of Wale. Have y'all heard his new album that came out?
Yeah, for sure.
Always solid. I got into an argument on my podcast with my co-host because I said I didn't like the new album he put out. And they were like, what? Why? And I was like, because as dope of an artist he is, it's a lot of remixed 90s, remixed nostalgic. You're selling me nostalgia. You're selling the production. Yeah. Like, and I feel like the production carries the whole album in my, you know? So if you take, let's say I sample H to the Izzo, but I say VA to the Dizzo or something stupid, you know what I'm saying? But I'm spinning it for me, but I know that when you hear it, you're going to remember what you were doing in 2001 when that song came out. So I automatically have you as a fan because I'm pandering to the nostalgia. It's just like Fortnite selling me a Ninja Turtle skin. I'm only paying for this skin because I missed the Ninja Turtles. I missed what was going on. And so I hate that we're losing the creativity of making a song like Nike Boots. He came up with that. You know what I mean? That's his song. Like, that's what I want from artists. I want you, like, even with Kendrick, Squabble Up, that sample that he used, he didn't lean on that sample. He helped it, like the sample was in the background. It didn't lead the song. Yeah, instead of somebody just taking somebody's whole old song and then, unless you're Chris Brown, I don't want to hear you do it. That's basically where I'm at.
But you know what, though, I gotta be honest real quick. I had a sort of different take on that Wale. Like, I feel like he was leaning more into some of the Nigerian roots. Like, there was a lot of like African drums kind of tracks on it. That stood out more to me. But I feel what you're saying.
But yes, and that is true, and that was the argument why everybody disagreed with me. Because he does stay true to his DC roots. He does stay true to his Nigerian roots. You can hear that in the stuff that he talks about, and he's so intelligent and he's so like raw. But as a fan, I wasn't pleased.
That's tough. I feel you, bro. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking and have been talking to none other than Chris Newman, VA Doe. So, Chris, I know the last thing that I have for you, see what else Max has, was just going forward, man. So we wrapping up this year, 2025. You know, we've talked about, you know, our history together and like all the advancements that you made in music and media, man. So what's next for the Chris Newman podcast? Like, where's this thing going? Because, you know, one thing I appreciated, man, is that like through what, like, we've really grown together. And whether we talking about Sarad, we talking about Doe Man, you know, Vinegar Hill, and everybody connected, like seeing that growth and seeing how there's like a new sort of media landscape that we have in Charlottesville that we're working with, and everybody's eating. You know, I love seeing that. So what can the people look out for, man? Like, where you trying to take this thing?
Just a lot more work with Blue Period Media. Big shouts to Blue Period Media, my boy Doe Man. Shouts to Lady Tage, XL, my boy Sweet Lick. We're gonna be doing a lot more of the, you know, the weekly recaps. We're gonna stay on top of that. Chris Newman podcast, I really am kind of running out of ideas. Like, I feel like I've interviewed everybody. I know it's still some people left. You know what I'm saying? Like, I definitely would love to get Razor in there for one good joint. I think that'd be a good joint. I think that'd be a good joint to get them in the door. Get you know, papers. I got like a few people that left that I've been holding out on, because it's like, once I interview these people, bro, I gotta start just interviewing the homeless. Like, just bring Baby James up there and just get him a 40 and let him rock off. Like, that's really where I'm at, because I feel like I've done it all, kind of. So I really want to. And I know might be a little too old for this, but I really want to stem into streaming. I do a lot of reaction videos without recording and posting them. I just be sitting in my house like, here's a reaction. Like, I'm going to start like really putting my foot on like the whole TikTok meta, you know, that whole sphere. Like, I really want to and focus on like kind of the comedy part of it. You know what I mean? And, you know, just entertaining people all around.
Yeah, bro, those on location videos that you and Tage been doing to be on point. So definitely lean into that.
Definitely. Absolutely. Thank you.
Man, thank you for being here today, Miss Max. What you think?
You know, I mean, I'm good. I have questions, but they take time, and I don't know how much time we got left. But should I ask it? Let's see. And I set this question up particularly for you because I caught your show when you used to be with Jams, and you can talk about anything. And you can talk about it in so many different ways and with such depth. I've always thought it was interesting hearing your conversations.
You were the first, I'm sorry, you were the first person that I saw in person like that. Like, that really inspired me, like on radio, because like sometimes you hear voices, right, and you like, you can't really match the face to the voice, but to see you work in person, I was like, damn, that energy, like that know-how is it's like keeping your attention, but it's also flowing, you know, with this show in and out of the music and the breaks. Like you taught me more than you know just by watching you do your show.
Man.
For sure.
I appreciate that.
I'm sorry.
So when I found out you were coming on the show, a couple things came to mind. First, I thought about our young Black men in our local high school, CHS, who are just kind of like getting wayward and getting lost to whatever streets or whatever, not making good decisions, life leading to jail or, drug addiction or what have you, trouble in their homes, different things like that. So I thought about that and what those kids need. Right. And I'm definitely not equipped to I don't have the experiences, and I'm not equipped to be able to answer those questions. I don't understand them in that way.
Right.
So my initial thought was, getting your response to that. But during that same time, I happened to watch an interview between Maya Angelou and James Baldwin. And in that interview, James Baldwin says that I believe he was referring to Black men. It could have been referring to Black people in general, but that we are always between resisting and resenting. And that was very interesting to me. And I wondered how you would understand something like that as a Black man existing in this world today. And then what your thoughts might be as all of that relates to our young Black youth, particularly male youth.
I think it really starts at us being pissed off, being upset, feeling not seen, not heard, feeling like we have to put up this facade that we're the toughest person in the world when we are scared and we are lonely and we are just more anxious than ever. I've been a young Black male that went to CHS at one point in time. I lived in Prospect Avenue. I lived on South First Street, and I lived over the projects. I am in my 40s, so I was living in those places where people beat you up for just coming over that side of town. So I myself had to find a way to not hate myself for not wanting to sell drugs, not hate myself for not wanting to be in a gang, not hate myself for not wanting to be a part of this crew or this facade and be something unique. That was the most difficult thing I've ever done in my life. And I don't know how I could even advise a young brother to do what I did as far as go against that grain and be different and be unique, because it's such a brave thing that you have to do. And it's something that really is going to take all of your strength to be able to do. What I will say is, at my age right now, I am at that point where I can advise these young brothers and give them some good insight, and like I said, when I talk, they listen
because they want to walk the straight and narrow.
Right, they do, but it's hard because there is people are expecting you to be how your dad was, or people are expecting you to be how your brothers were, or stuff like that, and in that pressure alone could crush a regular person. I could imagine what it would do to a 16-year-old. Right. So when I speak to the youth, I try my best to advise them, but like you said, there will be some resistance and there will be some resentment, because what you talking about, old dude? Get out my face. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when old dudes were trying to talk, when I was at the Boys Girls Club and dudes were, get out of my face, old man. Like, you don't know nothing about what I'm going through. Mind you, he's like in the future, like trying to stop me from making horrible mistakes, but I'm not listening to that. I'm a young dummy. That's just so I do take that with it too, to know that these young brothers gonna have to go out and venture out and learn on their own. Just pray that some of these words get through to them like it got through to me, man. I don't know. That's good luck, little bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Cool. No, thank you for that, man. And look, you didn't know you were going to have another life's big question. But
man.
You know how we do.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's a balance, yo. For real. I love that.
Appreciate it. You remember that, Max? Remember he was one of our select delegates for that life's big questions, which was which was a popular joint.
Did you asked me the question on that, didn't you?
I'm pretty sure I did.
Yeah, I think we both did.
I was so humorous. I was, and you were so serious, and I was like, I had a funny answer.
Yeah. Good stuff, man.
Yeah, man.
Chris Newman,
Yeah.
man, much success, brother. Keep,
Yeah.
Continue, man. Like we always got love for you. And,
Yeah.
Let's keep growing, keep grinding, man.
Absolutely, man.
Let's do all those things that we say we haven't seen yet, but we know we need.
Absolutely,
Let's do
man.
it.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. Big shout out to y'all. One-on-one jams. Like I said, I didn't see me doing an interview here at the end of the year on my bingo card. So it's really dope to be here, man, and just do this again.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
All right, IMHO family. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss it. More 10-year talk, more 2025 year-end wrap-up. Tell a friend. IMHO Talk Show.
IMHO Talk Show. Sir Charles, Miss Max, Razor.
You're listening to In My Humble Opinion with Maxilia Robinson and Charles Lewis. Only on 101.3 Jams.
IMHO Talk Show. Sir Charles, Miss Max, Razor.
You're listening to In My Humble Opinion with Maxilia Robinson and Charles Lewis. Only on 101.3 Jams.
IMHO Talk Show. Sir Charles, Miss Max, Razor.
You're listening to In My Humble Opinion with Maxilia Robinson and Charles Lewis. Only on 101.3 Jams.
IMHO Talk Show. Sir Charles, Miss Max, Razor.
You're listening to In My Humble Opinion with Maxilia Robinson and Charles Lewis. Only on 101.3 Jams.
IMHO Talk Show. Sir Charles, Miss Max, Razor.
You're listening to In My Humble Opinion with Maxilia Robinson and Charles Lewis. Only on 101.3 Jams.
IMHO Talk Show. Sir Charles, Miss Max, Razor.
You're listening to In My Humble Opinion with Maxilia Robinson and Charles Lewis. Only on 101.3 Jams.
MHO Talk Show. Sir Charles, Miss Max, Razor.
You're listening to In My Humble Opinion with Maxilia Robinson and Charles Lewis. Only on 101.3 Jams.
IMHO Talk Show. Sir Charles, Miss Max, Razor.
You're listening to In My Humble Opinion with Maxilia Robinson and Charles Lewis. Only on 101.3 Jams.
IMHO Talk Show. Sir Charles, Miss Max, Razor.
You're listening to In My Humble Opinion with Maxilia Robinson and Charles Lewis. Only on 101.3 Jams.
IMHO Talk Show. Sir Charles, Miss Max, Razor.
You're listening to In My Humble Opinion with Maxilia Robinson and Charles Lewis. Only on 101.3 Jams.
Yeah, well, if you're gonna bring VA Doe, you got to bring Razor up, man.
Yeah,
that was a great interview, y'all too. Like, that was a great interview I just had.
Thanks. Yep. Appreciate you, Razor. That means a lot coming from you, big brother.
Yeah,
big brother.
Now that was touching, man. Because when I was listening to the show when I was on my way here, Max was when you asked Max how long, and Max was like 10 years. And I was like, okay, in 10 years, I remember Bug and VA Doe and all the people that led to the stepping stones for WVAI to be here 10 years strong, right? And to see the growth of that young man. I know he's 40-some years old, right? But to see the growth of him and to remember the big questions that y'all had that episode, and remember him being silly in his answer, and him being more polished now and grown, and then went around the sun a few more times. Like, y'all are nothing short of amazing. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now, so before I ask you a direct question, I think it's only right that we let the whole family, because sometimes you got like the grown folk table, the kids table.
Yeah.
We got somebody sitting at the kids table right now that we want to invite over to the grown folk table. Who we got on this line with us?
What up, A Ron?
Hey.
Please get the money. What up, y'all? Y'all killing it, man. I feel like a proud papa, man. Y'all over there killing it, man.
Hey, what kind of microphone you got there, Aaron? I can't hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you too good, man. What's going on there? I mean, like we can hear you just real low.
Let me check my stuff. Give me one.
I'll just bring you up in my. Whoopsie, when I bring it up, we
get. Check your MLS 3467. Ain't that his code name?
What about now? A little better?
Yeah, I think it's your headphones too. Just get a little close for some reason. They may be too loud. Let me turn them headphones.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, my headphones causing feedback. But hey, Ron, man, how you been, bro? Hell,
I'm doing good, man. I was listening to the show. I felt like I was coming home from prison, except Razor ain't got no bag for me. I ain't got no ice. I ain't got no clothes. I ain't got nothing. But no, honestly, when I was listening to the show, it made me remember how impactful that show is just on my personal life, and how the show made me more of myself that y'all don't realize, and just helped me grow into the man that I am. And you guys are killing it. And I love y'all like a fat kid love cake. So yeah, it's just to see you guys continuing and growing and doing more things. I'm just super happy, super thankful, and just super happy for everybody. And I continue to pray for y'all every single day. Y'all know that. So keep doing what you're doing. Yeah,
man, we can't have you coming on here doing 50 Cent references because 50 is questionable right now.
Oh man.
Queens always stick together, don't y'all?
Yeah.
All day long.
I get it. Hey, but for those that don't know, man, Ron, let folks know, because there may be some people that's new to IMHO and they don't know that you went down south to find some better shea butter. So
shea butter down here is pretty good. I use daily oils. I got oils now. I got a facial routine, but no, I came down here for a couple of reasons. I wanted to get out of Virginia. God just told me it was time, and then also I got married. And professionally, we're doing some great things here. Yeah, I appreciate it. But professionally, I'm doing some things and growing our business. So no complaints, man. Life has been good, but more importantly, God has been good. No complaints at all. No complaints.
Cool. I was so excited that you agreed to come on the show. I was crossing my fingers that you did, but it's like bringing you back home. Like you are definitely a part of the IMHO family, and set in on at this very microphone for really an extended period of time in some of our earlier years, middle years. So it's always good to talk to you, Aaron. Always.
Look, Max, whenever I can get together and be ratchet and talk about bundles and stuff like this is like home.
Right.
Home. Let me say one thing though. Yeah, let me say this though. The thing that got me was I think Razor or one of y'all posted a picture of the kids.
Okay.
And I looked and I was like, it's just this time period of when you know what I'm saying? Like it's this time period if you just watch everybody just growing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, these jokers are driving cars and getting jobs. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I'm like, it's insane, man. It's insane. And then you still got this Job Turkey Charles thing. He telling people what to do. Niggas ignore him. Ignore him all.
It's a Job Turkey.
but hey, Ron, man. So we talking about 10 years of IMHO celebrating the anniversary. Year end 2025, and I know you already alluded to it, but just dig a little deeper. Tell the folks like your involvement in IMHO, right? And sort of like what that. Like how that played a part in who Aaron is, and like through that, let them know who you are, right? Like who you do, because your expertise and all that good stuff is. I'm sorry, we're getting some feedback. Like your expertise is sort of what added so much flavor to the show, right? So those who don't know, kind of reflect on your involvement, over these 10 years.
It's crazy because I think Razor will remember. Razor invited me to go to this ball with Max. It's the first time I think I even met Max. And it was I think it was in DC. Was it in DC?
Wait a minute. You're gonna put some respect on that. I to go to the National Geographic thing where Max was the last graduating class of Columbus.
Yeah. Look, hey, bro, I'm getting old. Come on now. All right, I remember that, and Razor was like, we got an idea for a show. And I think the one thing I'm learning as I get a little bit more mature is that it is a blessing when people trust you. And Razor trusted me and was like, hey, can you come up and just add some ideas? And I got the opportunity to meet Charles, and then the rest was history. I was always looking for, and listen, y'all know I'm very transparent. Since I lived in Culpeper in Virginia, I was always looking for a Black space. And we didn't have any. We had spaces that acted like they were Black spaces, but they weren't. And so when I came up there, that was the first place, honestly, that I was like, ooh, this feels like home. And everything we did and everything that we communicated and how we talked, everything from Razor, chopping it up, to me getting on Max and talking about bundles, to me and just Charles, and just the conversations that we had together as brothers, and it felt like home. And I also believe that the audience felt that through the radio, through the broadcast. Because we talked about Black issues, we talked about improving the community. It was always solutions oriented based. Before Dr. Snow Bunny was Dr. Snow Bunny today, we interviewed Umar. We interviewed Umar. All the great people, Nikki Giovanni. The list just goes on of just the impact that we had locally in the community, and also just, I think there's somebody worldwide that's starting their own broadcast because of what we did and what I was able to contribute. But it all comes from the brain of you guys. And again, I think y'all trusted my voice too. When you trusted my voice when I didn't even have one. And I'm gonna say that to somebody again, that somebody's sitting out there, y'all trusted my voice when I didn't have one. I never did broadcasting or whatever, but it was so natural just working with Max, Charles, and Razor, and just it's a blessing. And I think that people really need to take this format, take a look at it, because this thing is homegrown, and look at what it is now, and just continuing to grow and continuing to evolve. So
look, let me tell you something funny about this Dr. Snow Bunny. One of my oldest sons told us a few weeks ago, well, a little while ago, like, there's this guy, I can't think of his name, but y'all should have him on the show. I think they call him Dr. Umar. I said, no, not now. Not now. No.
Crazy.
Hey, Charles, we're gonna give AA Ron his flowers here real quick. I want to thank you, because when we brought you on here and you started talking about home ownership, right? Even though I was your boy and had been cutting your kids' hair since they were small kids, you were speaking a language which I couldn't really gravitate to. But yet you never stopped giving the message. You never stopped encouraging people to better their credit. The thing that you said that made me really start looking at you differently, besides my brother, was you said the first thing that we need to recognize is that there's a problem. You and Max were talking about money issues. Max asked you, so what do you do when the money doesn't add up? And you said the first thing you need to do is realize that you have a problem. And you caught my ear from that point on. And from that day forward, you continually tried to navigate us, even when you started doing your version of podcast where you were posting on Facebook about what things people needed to do. And then you were posting people's successes as they were buying home ownership and land, to let people know that you could do it too, all while still praising God along the way. And I thank you for that.
Hey, man, I appreciate that. I got a young guy just hired in my office. So he's like 28 years old, and he was asking me about, he had a couple opportunities to go with other people. And I told him, and I said, my father was my mentor. And I said, but I'm not a preacher. I said, my father had a choice to go work for some big corporation, or he wanted to go minister and preach at a Black church in the hood. And he chose the Black church because he said, I wanted to help my people. And that example for me was, I can be successful, I can be great, I can grow, and I can do everything, even if I serve my people. And a lot of people think that you can't do that. And I'm a prime example to where, we serve everybody, but the majority of my client base is very Black. The majority of people I talk to are Black every day. The majority of people that, work in my branches because of the demographics, Eric and I, they are Black. And we serve a Black demographic, and we can still have success. And so I think that people take us for granted. I think we take ourselves for granted. I think we don't look at what our value is. I think a lot of people associate things with Black being bad or anti. And my thought process is the opposite, because I'm around people like y'all. Like, people say stuff like that. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I know Max, I know Charles, I know Razor. I don't know what y'all talking about. You might be talking about some dusty Negroes over there. Those aren't the people that I know. That doesn't apply to me. And so just being on this show, but giving access to Razor, people have problems. You can't pass your problems off to another group.
Right.
And expect them to solve it when that group might be at war with you or fighting for the same resources. I don't know. I could be wrong. So that was just always my mentality, man, is that just to give back to people honestly, to give that back to people, to be transparent. And the other thing is that every experience that I have experienced in my life up until today, God and the universe, whatever people want to call it, he's always given me an opportunity to minister to people or to help people. And it's always based upon those exact experiences. Because I had bad credit. I had a divorce. I made some terrible decisions. And God just started putting people in my way that's like, hey, Aaron, I'm about to cross that line. I'm like, come on, Lord, now. No. And now I get to talk to him about it. And that's kind of what my journey has been. So I'm just super thankful. Just super thankful, Razor. Super thankful.
Man, that is dope, man. Man, we missed his voice on here. Hey, look, speaking of which, so like since we gave you your start, when are we gonna start receiving royalty checks after you post these like real estate videos and stuff?
Unfortunately, you might have a Diddy publishing deal, brother. You may not have to get a dime.
Money tied up.
Hey, but as we always do, man, like how about we take a break in a minute and we can get back to some of those some of the what's happening, and we get the Aaronisms about them, because like Queens is in the building one more time, Razor, but we're gonna play you some more theme music. We kicked it off, there was another favorite that we had, little French Montana, when you used to be on here, talking about getting the bag. Speaking of getting the bag, what's your MLS number again? Since we already set you up, go ahead and let the folks know.
And MLS 239-638. Queens, get the money, baby.
No, but in all seriousness, though, like you still have clients here in Virginia and all that. Like, if you want to talk about that real quick, you know what I mean? Like some folks know they really still can reach out to you.
Yeah, absolutely. You can reach out to me at aaronsimmonsteam.com. We are in the process of growing our branch to being close to this year we'll probably hit 100 million in purchase and refinance transactions, and next year the goal is 200 million. We can help you with home ownership, credit repair, purchasing land, building a home, and just a consultation. If you guys want a trusted advisor, I tell people, Google me. You'll see the reviews. Those are real people. It's not AI. It's not robots. And, I've been very, very blessed to have a 20-year career in this business, and we would love to serve you on your next mortgage transaction. Charles, you got me on here selling, man. What we talking about, man? Man, we going to look out for each other or not. I'm just trying to get another percentage in that royalty check. That's all I'm trying to do. But hey, I got you.
Yeah. But hey, when we are on with our old friend Aaron Simmons, Aaron. So we're gonna come back and talk how like it's the good old days. How that sound, y'all?
Let's do it.
All right. So right after this, I Am HO Talk Show. Tell a friend. Don't want to miss it.
I Am HO Talk Show. Sir Charles, Miss Max, Razor.
You're listening to In My Humble Opinion with Maxilia Robinson and Charles Lewis. Only on 101.3 Jams.
We live in a society in which structural racism is a very real thing. We are all dealing with that in every aspect of our lives, and the media is a reflection of our community.
Historically, black people have been portrayed a certain way in the media to justify normative assumptions around political and social issues.
More black people behind the cameras, in front of the cameras, more producers, more people of color producing, so they can go and get the content that's needed so they can highlight are attributes.
I've been in this industry for 15 years, and I've seen firsthand how our voices just aren't heard. Even if you're in the newsroom, sometimes you get completely ignored and stereotypes are allowed to perpetuate. And one thing we want to do is combat that, and also bring information to people so they can be as informed as possible when choices are made in this city, so they can do whatever they can to get their voices heard.
What I believe can be done about the situation is to have more people of color creating news stories, more people who have a interest in and a social consciousness that relates to the stories that they're telling.
Charlottesville Tomorrow looks at these issues. We can present them on IMHO. Vinegar Hill Magazine can take that a step further, and just together we can just make this thing that can be an example of
Jams.
IMHO Talk Show. You know what it is. Sir Charles.
Razor.
Man, he been gone so long, he ain't even come in with
No, because Matt, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Max didn't do the Maxilia. She ain't do that. I didn't know what to do. I was waiting.
Oh man, so Aaron, good to have you on, my brother. So with all this going on right now, man, there's so many things that we've missed out on that we definitely could have used your points of view on. But I guess let's sort of start with something like which was easy, and then we can get ratchet for hours of it. We're gonna save the ratchet for the end, right?
Oh, you sure? Because I want to get to it.
He gonna slide it in.
Where else do you go for your ratchet conversations, AA Ron?
Oh, Maxilia, there's so many places to go for ratchet conversations.
That is funny.
I don't know where y'all want to start. We can start with Diddy. We can start with Sharon Moore. Like we can start a lot of different places.
I was actually thinking like more political myself. I mean, like, but go ahead. Like you did just give the folks your MLS, and you did say that you still reachable and all that, man. So like you haven't been on here for the midterms, for the presidential, and like a couple of years. Like a matter of fact, like what was the last year? When did
2022. 22.
Yeah,
it's been 3 years.
Wow.
The fall of 2022, right?
Yep, fall 2022.
Yeah, it's fall 2022. Yeah.
Okay. All right, brother. So then, man. So like, talk to the good people, Ron, because you out here trying to sell everybody $1 million house, like, and the federal government doing what they do. So in all realness, like, what's the word right now when people are trying to get their credit straight? But they seeing like benefits being, taken away, right? Like a lot of folks who thought they had secure government jobs have lost their jobs. So they trying to pay bills, and home ownership looks like is further away than ever. Unless they do that. What is he talking about? Some 50-year mortgage? Y'all crazy.
Donnie lost his mind, man. Donnie out here Donnie tripping, dude. Like I try to have a little respect for the administration, but the things that they're currently doing and the things that they are promoting, they know for a fact that none of that stuff is going to benefit the entire population. It's only going to benefit a small group of people. My message to people out there is that we've been preaching this for a minute, and it's always everything has to be group economics. Everything. There's no other solution.
So the Razor, I would say that's the problem.
No, that's what I'm saying.
We got a president that's treating government like business. It's government.
We voted in a businessman.
I ain't voted, man.
I mean, you understand what I'm saying? Like America, we brought in a businessman. So we can't holler about we need political morals when you did not put a politically moral driver in the seat. That don't make sense to me.
But why is everybody else hiding their hand? And Aaron and Max, of course, y'all chip in as well. It's like there's supposed to be checks and balances in play. But it's like the MAGA movement was so strong and really showed how real racism still is in this country, and prejudice, even if they don't want to say it's racist, prejudice for different things, is that people would stop speaking up. Like people were literally scared because they thought that the MAGA movement was going to be so strong that they would lose their job. They forgot they were public servants. There's supposed to be checks and balances.
Not when it comes to business.
I'm talking about government's supposed to be checks and balances.
It's not that way.
Scared.
But it's not that, in my humble opinion, from what I have learned from watching this show, is that political agendas, right, can be exposed in a healthy way. But unfortunately, you're dealing with a businessman who is constantly trying to get to the top of the totem pole. And that does not matter who gets hurt along the way. So we can, and this is my thing. All of us have older people in our family who marched, who stood for something, who those days in my mind are gone, right? This is more of a gladiator society. The way that we operate out here as free people is so reminiscent of the penitentiary that's why you notice a lot of people who were in trouble doing so well now. Because this is like penitentiary without the walls.
Finish tell us what you want to say, Aaron. I'm curious about the rest of that thought.
Oh, no, I was just going to say everything is group economics because you live in an economy to where everybody is competing for resources. And I think that looking for the federal government to assist you, you know, there's an observation, Max, that I've been making over the last few years, and I think that people don't really want to hear it. United States poverty is very luxury. And most of the planet does not look like this.
Fact.
The United States is going to start looking like most of the planet. And that's where this society is going. And I think that people have to take it seriously. I think people cannot run from it anymore. I think that if you have a partner, if you have a spouse, a boyfriend, girlfriend, you have children, you're going to start to see more people living together in one property and developing more of a family unit. Because it's going to be necessary. Because everything is going to be.
Let me tell you something, real thought. I'm almost ashamed to say it, but I'm going to say it. Like, I have met individuals where their vehicle is better than mine. Their home is better than mine. Their resources are better than mine. And I'm like, you just got here. How is this even possible?
Yeah, I don't. There's a lot of conversations out there. I think that we also need to, Max, and now remember, Max, you're talking to somebody that looks at credit every day. I look at business every day. Oh, let me say this real loud. Don't let these people fool you. We are in a credit-based society. And when you're in a credit-based society, that means everybody's borrowing everything. Just because somebody has the ability to borrow $1 million to get shiny stuff does not mean that they are financially sound.
But the other thing that I'm also referencing is that is the people that are new to the country.
So immigration is interesting because I look at immigration, and this is, to me, this is not debatable. Immigration in this country is a faucet. They turn it on and they turn it off whenever they want to. It is not based upon Democrat. It is not based upon Republican. It is based upon who they need to work in this country. So let's go back to antebellum slavery. We needed what? We needed labor to come in here and build things and such. Boom, what'd they do? They turned the faucet on. When they decided to turn the faucet off, they turned it off. Then all of a sudden you had Asian labor that came in this country. Then you had European labor that came in this country. Then you had Latin labor that came into this country. You had African, you had Caribbean. They decide when they want to turn the faucet on. Now, the problem that people are not paying attention to is that they do the same thing, but then they always make it anti-black or they make it anti-black. That's what they do every single day.
And puts us against each other.
Absolutely. When the goal is it's labor. So when all this stuff with Trump started talking about the tariffs and all this nonsense, I'm like, okay, you stop letting all these Latinos or these people in this country and you see what happens. They are the backbone of millions of businesses here and people you don't see. You walk into Chinese restaurants, they're in there cooking. You walk into any restaurant back there, they're in there busting tables, they're in there working their tails off. Sugar farms, plants, oranges, apples, you name it. They're the backbone of this country.
And it's something that was done since the beginning of the time too. Like your problem wants to make you think that everything else is your problem except what's your actual problem. And Max, the other thing I was thinking too is that like they don't have our history and our story, right? So it's like if you're coming in fresh and you ain't go through and you're not living with generational post-traumatic slavery disorder, then you're going to approach things differently. Also,
and you're given additional resources because of the conditions of you coming in fresh.
Also, a lot of folks
that's the only thing I ever
check off the
disagree with
white
y'all.
box too, though. Like, let's not get mistaken. A lot of people don't come here as and operate as a person of color. I've had a lot of immigrants say, "That's y'all fight." Wait, like that ain't my fight.
But yo, this is the only thing I've ever disagreed with y'all about in 10 years is that I still the main everything else is layered.
He lying. Right? Go ahead and say what you're gonna say.
But I don't feel either of the three of you really hold Black families accountable in the way that they should, because we always talk about slavery. If we look at Black families as a whole, and we compare them to what Max said when it comes to like people coming in from other countries, how many of us can legitimately say that you raise your children to help you build your household resources?
I totally agree with you.
We too often try to save our children at the demise of everything. I'm talking about, say, 60 years old down to 21 years old, right? We don't build it to where we all pitching in, but we might talk about other ethnic groups living in a house. I remember when everybody used to make fun of Spanish people like that, right? But I do not know of I don't know of any Black families that I'm associated with that can say the parents, the children, the grandparents, when they can't do more, come in and help watch the kids like other nationalities, work collectively together. And then, but we have a facade to where we want to look like we doing okay, even though there's problems in all of our Black households.
I don't disagree with that, but the degree of resources that an individual new to this country walks into, the door is just thrown open for whatever reason or another.
But if you got 10 kids and all your kids are putting forth 10% to help the household, you got the resources underneath your own roof.
Wait. Hold on. Can I let me say
something? Go back to the history part of us being here.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
Hold on now, because I want to raise it. You my brother, okay? You my
Come
brother.
on
you three states.
Hold on. That Nigerian, and I'm just saying that Nigerian person, that person coming from a tribe in Africa, wherever they're coming from, they're coming here because they are resources here. It is not a big population of people. Let's be clear. It is very, very small. I would ask the question, if you so big and bad and you so great, why you couldn't get it popping over there? Why is that nation not doing as well? Because people come over here and they're coming into the United States because the United States has resources. They don't want to go back there. They want to come here. What is the reason for that? Sometimes we let a small group of people give us an identity about something that is not really happening. A small group of people does not give me the definition that an African country is struggling. Because those people would come over here. Those people, if that country was doing fantastic, they would stay there, Reza. They would stay there.
I disagree. I disagree. And this is why. And I won't go in depth because I don't want to take up too much time. The reason that America is able to do what we do, and the reason we have never been really invaded, is because of the Second Amendment. We have the right to fight back. These other countries, look at what happened to Haiti. When they fought back, the world came against them. America's not like that. So we talk about the resources that they get. I guarantee the majority of people that come from other countries, say Nigeria, the money that the government gets them does not equate to if everybody in your household pooled their money together and what you would have. So the reason that the little bit of money that they get when they come over here and they're able to work with it because doors are open for them does not equate to the bad decisions that we make over here in America. In our own house.
I can only speak for myself and I can only speak for my family. That's the only people I can hold accountable. And for myself and my family, we have done okay because I followed my grandfather and my father and those examples that they gave me. I can't speak on other Black families because those people don't. I said that in the beginning. Sharon Moore does not represent me in my daily life. He doesn't. He doesn't. And he wouldn't. And I definitely don't represent him based upon my choices in dating. It is what it is. And what I do. So I am also not the person that's going to take on the whole Black community on my back. My job is to be a great example and to do my best to educate and to help people. Now, a lot of people don't take economics and take those things seriously. It sounds like you may, sounds like Max may, sounds like Charles may, sounds like I may. The goal is to try to get people, the overwhelming majority of people, to take stuff seriously. But you're making it sound like everybody in MAGA agrees with each other. They don't. The only thing they agree about is that it's anti-Black. They don't agree with nothing else. They agree that, Negroes, bad. You see what I'm saying? So we just have to be very careful about flat statements. And I'm not disagreeing with you on everything, but I'm not willing. There's so much great and excellence and things that are going on in our communities, and you guys are an example of it, to where I'm always going to, I even hate the word victim, because I am a victim of racism. I 1,000% am a victim of racism every single day. I don't have what I'm supposed to have, and I'm playing a game that literally they set up for me to fail, and I'm still whooping your ass.
The racism comes from Black people too. Like we have this, we have this thing where we say, right. Black people can't be racist. Like we come up with some stupid stuff right along with line dancing.
All right.
You know?
So hey, Ron,
you don't put no boots on the ground. Razor don't want no boots on the ground.
I'm just joking.
Max Razor put boots on the ground.
That's a question for him.
Oh, okay. All right. Nobody want. All right. So, hey, Ron. So over this past 3 years, like one thing you always talked about with this too is like the accountability of Black men, right? Like I feel like, and tell me if you disagree, Max, but I felt like some of our deepest conversations outside of the real estate and economics has been the talk about what's going on in our community, even in our pop culture, as it relates to the brothers. So, Max. Like which direction should we go with that first? Because there's so many. When we talking about 3 years, like one that stands out to me the most, I feel like is even like a Shador Sanders. You weren't here to have that conversation, Ron. Like so when we look
know you got an opinion.
So like we all Black men, we all Black fathers. When we look at the scrutiny of being one's what you would feel as being your authentic self, and then even your Black father, right? Like being at your defense, or even kind of raising your point, setting up your family for success, right? And being unapologetic about that. And then that seems to go into scrutiny. Like, what has been your thoughts about that, Ron?
So I'm going to back it up a little bit. Shador Sanders started at an HBCU, kicked butt there, went to Colorado, kicked butt there, and has an opportunity to play quarterback in the NFL. That don't even happen very often. I need somebody to tell me the last time that's even happened, that a kid started at an HBCU. I mean, the one that I can think of, Razor, you probably remember, Steve McNair.
Yeah, Steve McNair.
25 years ago. So I'm even more impressed about what Deion is doing and what Deion did with his family. And I think that Shador thing is that they don't want that young man to succeed just because of
who his daddy is.
Some not only but just think about the lineage. I mean, think about you start at HBCU, you can go D1, then you can go pro.
Okay.
I'm just saying, just even that process. Now, what I will say is that NFL organizations want people to be successful. And I'm gonna, and I might be crazy, but to me, I don't know. The young boy selling jerseys, he's making bread. For you wanting him to fail is kind of weird, because nobody else really wants to go to Cleveland for no other reason other than to see the door fail.
I don't know that everyone, by and large, there wants him to fail. They just want him to succeed on their terms.
Yes, there you go.
That's what I'm getting out of the coach.
Yeah. And then on the flip, the people even try to say he's, like too demanding and too boisterous. He's not the first quarterback to hold out on a team and say, I don't want to go to that team. I will not play if y'all draft
the Manning kid.
He's not
Eli.
the first.
Eli Manning did that.
Others done it. But Aaron and Razor specifically, the point of people even saying, and our own people, when we talk about sort of like our own self-hatred, that go to the facts, Max, of Deion's his daddy. Right. And like we see people do this about like whether it's Jay-Z and Blue Ivy or whatever. Why do we hate on each other so bad.
LeBron.
People do it for LeBron. Like, it's like, what is it about us though? Like to do that where it's like when one of us is successful, or you a sellout, or like you wouldn't have made it if it wasn't for this and that, or blah blah blah. Why aren't we happy with each other's success and want to build that family unit to be like, yes, you build the next generation to be better?
Most black people, in my opinion, have never really met anybody or seen anybody other than an entertainer that had no real money. Like, for example, where we lived at in those communities, and I know Raisin knows this, there's names in that Orange, Charlottesville, Green community, just a last name. Them people been having money since like the 1700s.
Yep.
And it's very, very common. Most black people don't have that experience. So it's almost like looking at an alien, Charles. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like, what? I've never seen that before. In other communities, it's very, very common for the Thompson boys to grow up. Daddy got a construction company, son got a construction company, nephew got a construction company. It's just different. And it's a lot of anti-blackness.
My mama called it the Joneses.
Yeah, keeping up
with the Joneses.
Yeah.
Let's even take it outside of the entertainment realm. That's so easy for black folks to do, right? And say, talk about entertainers and athletes and stuff. But it's like, even locally, it's like, y'all know some of the stuff that we say. Like, you see a family doing good, see a brother doing good. Oh, what they doing over there? Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, what they really doing? Where that money come from?
Yeah.
That's automatic, and it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah. From my best observation, it seems like you got a lot of folks who love the sport of football and want the young man to earn it, right? And want him to be able to display skill where they can pretty much get on the bandwagon and publicly show support for him. And some of those that look like us who are hating on him, it's just because they don't quite understand that, right? I don't understand that. And you do have those folks that do want to see him fail, and for no reason other than, I believe, being black and because of who his father is. The great thing is that through all of kind of this like public scrutiny, this dude is succeeding. Now, granted, that sets him up for a huge failure publicly, with one misstep, but he's succeeding, right? He's like kind of got this hometown hero, hometown boy type of look and way of talking. He speaks well. He's polite. He's respectful. He answers the questions well. I wonder how many years of prep it took for him to get to the point where he could field those questions from the media to be able to answer them in the way that he does. So they've definitely, his family has taken a lot of time to prepare him for the platform that he's on right now. I think he'll be great one day. I really, really do. But it's sad that, just by default of who his father is, he has to be put through all of this.
He wasn't like that as a kid either. If you see the old films, like when Deion was recording, when they were doing like Little League football, he was very, the other kid was always been who he is. But this one had doubts. He wondered if Deion loved the other son more than he loved him, or differently or whatever. So, I mean, to see him now and to see him back then is two different people. And the only thing, I was listening to what Max was saying, and Charles, this reminded me of something that you said one time before about the area that we live in, or it may have been Aaron, but we were talking about how we can get behind and cheer for a person we've never met when there's people working just as hard but differently that you see every day. They might be at your job, they might be in your house, through your school. So then when I see people cheering for people like him or LeBron's son or whatever, it's just like, dang, why aren't you supporting people in your right? Like sometimes it's your own. You know,
it kind of goes back to talking to Chris, right?
It's
like we got so much talent here. Like, why aren't we cultivating? Why aren't we supporting them more? But Aaron, as we got to come to an end soon, what about the flip side of this thing, though? What about the brothers who lack that discipline? Something else that we talked about as well, because pray for brothers Shador and everybody else, but it's like we set these examples and then what's the saying? Something that takes you years to build can take you a second to destroy.
Absolutely. Michigan head coach.
And P. Diddy.
Yeah.
Come on, New York! Don't get quiet.
I don't even. I'll be very honest. It's the reason. it's a sensitive topic for me because
why?
It's a sensitive topic because some of us, truth be told, have made similar decisions that he has made.
Yeah.
And some of us have made similar decisions that he has made. Some of us have been publicly humiliated.
Yeah.
Some of us have gone through that experience. The only thing I can say is, but God, and through grace and mercy and true repentance, and which is really turning around, really being accountable for your actions, really admitting why you made those poor decisions, which is, I think that honestly, when I look at him, this Coach Moore, is really, you need to get really, really deep about why you want that attention. When I see him, that's what I see.
Yeah.
Why do you want that female attention so much? Because somebody would look at him and say he's on top of the world. Man, he ain't on top of the. If you're willing to give it away, if you're willing to give the world away for some girl that makes $56,000 that works in your coffee room, you don't have the world.
And why her income and her
well,
work
he doubled
got
her
to
income.
do with it.
So like that's like what everyone is saying. When you look at it, he was making, I think it was 48,000, 44,000, something like that. And then the very next year he put it at 90,000.
I'm just saying, you could have said the same thing without talking about her income.
Hey, it's public knowledge, but no, Max. I think the thing is that when it's men have to get, we have too many examples. And it's undefeated that when you lack sexual discipline, that this is the only outcome. Now, the problem is that the longer you get away with it, to me, what I'm learning and I'm watching men is that the consequences get bigger because there's a level of arrogance that you carry that you think that you can just do this forever. And
you
then when you said what?
You talking about him or Diddy?
I'm talking about both of them. I'm talking about like Diddy. You think about Diddy, Razor, you think about Diddy, that's 30 years. That's 30 years of arrogance. You talk about Coach Moore, he didn't get that. He didn't get 30 years. And so I just think that men, you have to think about it. And also, shout out to my wife. My wife talks about it all the time, but she's like, yo, if you got money, you don't have to be this messy. Like, it doesn't even make any sense. Like, it's kind of like you can kind of just structure your life the way you want to if you have some of these proclivities that you want to be involved with sexually. Like, it doesn't make sense for you to be operating like this. Like some of the stuff in the rumors you heard, like Plan B pills getting sent to the job raiser, this stuff is insane.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, like what so he's just out here just moving real reckless. But young men, take heed.
Yeah,
he don't
money doesn't change who you are, Aaron. Like, I mean, it just accentuates what the problem is.
He's a Razor. We call him a well-paid trick.
And
Jesus.
Right. And like we celebrate each other so much, like I'm okay with having this conversation, because the downside is that sometimes, like some of our most successful, right, and most popular only get talked about when somebody got dirt on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but I feel like that we,
like VA Doe said, they only want it because we trying to kill each other.
Right. But I feel like that we could easily offset this conversation because of the content that we normally do by lifting each other up.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to point that out because, man, like such a big part of it too is that when you really let's really take a step back and let's think about the man Sean Combs, right? For instance, and people bring up the argument that, hey, like, everybody does it, like everybody's corrupt, like so why are these people getting called out?
Don't make it right.
Still don't make it right. Right. And we should be holding ourselves to a higher standard. But my point that I'm making though is that to me a bigger significance, and I'm not trying to downplay any victim in this situation, but it's like when you think about Sean Combs, you think about Puff Daddy. We're talking about a black male icon. If you before you knew about all the transgressions, like Razor, Aaron, am I wrong? Like he was like an epitome of being a successful black. You talking about entrepreneur through clothing? Like everything he did turned to gold. Like our culture was built. So when you see people like that get brought down from not being a superhero, and maybe it's on us sometimes for expected. It makes you think of, and sometimes it gets me emotional too. It's like every child believes their father is a superhero until they show that they're human.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like so when we look at some of our superstars, that's the level. And as a black man, I'm speaking. I think sometimes we overlook that the impact that he's had on us culturally as well as Black successful people.
Yeah.
But it is a reality check because he is still just a human being. So it also is kind of enlightening for us to understand that we really need to view the humans as being humans and not put them on this pedestal and make ourselves believe based on how they're moving in the world that there's something much greater than what they actually are.
Talent.
But you know, I'm listening to you, Charles, listing off all of his business endeavors and things like that throughout the years. But what does it matter now?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
What it can all crumble for any one of us with a bad decision.
Yeah.
Right. And it's a lesson to be a good human. Like something that Aaron said earlier, like how many opportunities did he get to get this right, to change your behavior? And
you can't get to that. Now, this is just Razor speaking. You can't get to that level of success and be a good human. This world. I
see some truth.
I don't believe. Look, let me tell you something.
Like you gotta sacrifice a lot.
I'm gonna tell you because
sacrifice a lot of baby oil too.
Yeah, I don't know if I entirely agree with that.
Well, listen to this, Charles. Because like even when you have good people that do wrong, they look at the good outweighs the bad, and the one that makes me think of that, and only a few people will understand what I'm saying. You take Rayful Edmonds, right? Who was a drug lord of DC. Rayful was a good dude. Like anybody that really knew Rayfus was a good dude. Now he was surrounded by some wolves, right? But Rayfus was a good dude. Look, call him by a nigga named Rayfus. You know what I'm saying? He was a good dude, but he was in charge of things that hurt a lot of people, even if he didn't make the call. P. Diddy, I remember him bringing the fat dude with the Coogee sweater down to Howard performing. No, I'm just saying, I remember him, the person, the skinny little dude. You know what I'm saying? In DC, in Georgetown, I remember this cat. I remember the Joe Campbell looking dude pulling on the side of 95, running up Bragg Hill in Fredericksburg, Jay-Z. Yeah, I remember these dudes.
So what are you saying? They were doing bad all along in order to reach to.
Yeah. So then when you start seeing where they're giving to people and doing all this stuff, right? You can't get to that level of success that look like us, and there is no crime behind it. Because even if you win $1 billion in the lottery, if nobody taught you how to operate that money, one, you're gonna lose it, like the Bible tell you. But two, somebody gonna get you involved in something where you try to flip it. You see with NFL players, Aaron Hall on the West Coast selling weed. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you. So let me interject there so I can get Max's point, because I see Max disagreeing with some of it. So here's why I agree. Here's why I get his premise, Max, and what I agree with. But I want to see what you were thinking over there. Is that what he just said? Think about those levels of success, sort of how we talk about the government sometimes. We've talked on the show about how it's almost like when you're a local sort of community organizer type politician, there's like a level of integrity, right, that's expected, and it's easier. But think about like once you climb, you get bigger and bigger, you more power, like you get drunk with the power. And by the time you get to like federal level, let's say president, some people say there's no way you can be a wholesome president because there's so much ish like that you got to swallow. And it just comes with the job. So there's no way you can really no way you can keep your integrity once you get to a certain level.
Look at Kamala. They started bringing up how many people they thought she slept with. You know what I'm saying? To get to the top. Now, why can't a woman, if she was single, be with people? But in the realm that you're going to get to a high plateau, they're going to bring up, I mean, I just don't see how it's possible to get to that level of success and it not be surrounded in some type of crime in this world.
Hey, Razor, can I add something?
Hold on. Max is thinking.
This is undoubtedly in Diddy's career, or anybody's, talking about getting to that level of success, you make some choices that have unintended consequences. They might be bad, right? You have to sometimes pick the lesser of the two bad things. Bad happens by some form of omission or what have you. But what I got to ask you, Razor, is that considering, and I'm just going to go here, our personal relationship, our religious relationship, our spiritual relationship, and what we know it to be able to do for us and do in us, and how it's supposed to change us. And that's not to say that different temptations and opportunities don't come along, but are you saying with that, spirit and in truth, right? With that, it is impossible to still reach that level of success without being corrupt in some manner?
Absolutely. And this is why I say this, Max, is that this world is ran by the little g God in the Bible, right? Not the one in the heavens. So, but the big G God allows things to take place, right? So being, like you said, being a Christian, trying to strive every day to honor God and walk in his purpose, you have so much that is meant to hold you back, to not give you the glorification of God in the heavens, that in order to reach earthly success, you're going to have to walk through a door that you hope nobody knows that you walk through it.
That's the point of clarification, Max, is that sometimes the devil is giving us stuff.
Right. Absolutely.
And then people think, oh, well, like I'm only going to be blessed if I get that. And if I do that, it's some things we shouldn't touch.
And if I got it, then God must have allowed it, which is true, which is always true. Like God, there's nothing that happens that he didn't know. He's the Alpha Omega. There's nothing that he does not allow, even in something that we consider horrific. He had to allow it to take place. So at that point, serving him, and the devil allows you to walk through certain doors because they want to trip you up when you're bigger. Like say if Puffy had got towed off in Howard, we would have never heard about it. But you get him on a mainstay stage where other people can say, look, this is what happened to me. So then the devil allows people that are lying trying to get resources and finances. So then I'm gonna throw my story. Now we don't know who to believe. They all lying. If you wanted to leave, why did you show up? Like, you know what I'm saying? So now we got the author of confusion working. So no, I don't believe that with their level of success, you can accomplish it
without being corrupt.
Can I add one thing? Charles?
And then we're gonna let you close out.
I appreciate it. I think the one thing when I mind you, when I was in Razor brought up some years, when I was in 95, 96, I thought I was Puff Daddy, like for real.
Man, some people think we all did.
Not all of us.
You would never look at Bad Boy and Puff Daddy and be like, oh man, like I want to get my rollie on.
Get my rollie on.
I was NWA, I was Tupac, DMX.
But that was me because I'm New York. But what I will say, when Razor was talking, so you guys are in a city right now to where a gentleman named Thomas Jefferson built an institution. That institution has been standing, and Charles, you helped me out. Was it been 150, 200 years?
Yes, what, 18? Yeah, 18, 19?
18, 19. So let's say 200 years. Oh my God. The difference is that Sean had an opportunity to build something, but he never built an institution. He built something for himself. Nothing is standing that he's built. Nothing is still around. All businesses that he's at, you see, I love Razor because Razor knows where I'm going. Every business that he has had is going to be gone. And so the vision was always him. The vision was never bigger than him. The vision was always him. And whether you like Thomas Jefferson or not, there's something to be said about having a vision outside of yourself, and that thing can hang around for 200 years. When Puffy is gone, the music will stay, but the businesses themselves, Bad Boy's going to be done. There's no more Sean John. Ciroc wasn't even his. To me, it's a business lesson. He didn't build an institution. If it was the Sean Combs Academy, let me tell you something. Thomas Jefferson has had some real crusty dudes come through University of Virginia over the last 200 years. And I'm going to say that to be a fact. That thing ain't going nowhere because the people still believe in the academic vision of what that place is supposed to be. Puff didn't build that. Puff built something that was always going to serve one person. Him.
Yep. Appreciate you, Aaron. Man, we over time. Aaron, what's your closing words to the people? And like, man, we give you I'm gonna put you on blast. Man, we've been telling you to get back on this thing.
I miss y'all, man.
10-year anniversary party for you to be right. No, it really, truth be told, it took Max.
Yep.
Max convinced you to come on here. You ain't want to do it for me, but it's all good. I thought we were brothers, but
wouldn't even answer my call.
Right.
Well, first of all, everybody know how much I love Max. So if y'all do want something done, you just got to be like, Max, hit me with the.
I appreciate that.
Hey, Aaron, we're doing a show and that's it. That's it. No, but the only words I got, man, is everybody just be encouraged. Like, there's a lot of problems out there, but we have enough talent and we have enough people in our community to solve some of these problems. Don't duck the tough route on anything. Stay focused on yourself. Stay focused on your families. Think about somebody else other than yourself. Somebody needs a hand. Somebody needs a little help. Somebody needs a little push. And we all should be doing that for other people. But, you guys continue to kill it. Continue to serve the community. Again, I'm super proud of y'all. Super proud of my brother Charles, Reza, Max, for the woman that you've become and are continuing to be. And y'all just keep on killing it.
Appreciate you, good
Thank
brother.
you.
All right, don't waste so long. Come in person next time. Bring us some of your finest shea butter. We appreciate it.
All day long. All day long.
All right, I am Joe Talk Show. We'll be right back. Y'all don't want to go nowhere as we close out this 10-year anniversary show and 25-year wrap up.
We live in a society in which structural racism is a very real thing. We are all dealing with that in every aspect of our lives, and the media is a reflection of our community.
Historically, black people have been portrayed a certain way in the media to justify normative assumptions around political and social issues.
More black people behind the cameras, in front of the cameras, more producers, more people of color producing, so they can go and get the content that's needed so they can highlight our attributes.
I've been in this industry for 15 years and I've seen firsthand how our voices just aren't heard. Even if you're in the newsroom, sometimes you get completely ignored and stereotypes are allowed to perpetuate. And one thing we want to do is combat that and also bring information to people so they can be as informed as possible when choices are made in the city, so they can do whatever they can to get their voices heard.
What I believe can be done about the situation is to have more people of color creating news stories, more people who have a interest in and a social consciousness that relates to the stories that they're telling.
Charlottesville Tomorrow looks at these issues. We can present them on IMHO. Vinegar Hill Magazine can take that a step further, and just together we can just make this thing that can be an example of how we can change the media landscape, how we can be more inclusive to get these voices in, to get these people heard. That's just one thing that doesn't happen in so many places, and it's a shame.
We think we live in a society that's very progressive, and we're talking about equity and diversity and inclusion and all these things. Still, the way that black people, and I would say, and I would argue especially black men, are portrayed by the media is incredibly dangerous, and you've seen the sort of tangible violence that it's led to over the past year.
The community can support the SIM project by first and foremost giving us an opportunity. We understand that it can be difficult to give trust right now, especially considering the current social and political environment. But this project will only be as successful as the community allows it to be. And so we ask you to give us the opportunity to do the work, critique the work, and make sure that we stay in line with the vision. Another way that the community can get behind the SIM project is through engagement. We want to hear from you. We want to know what you're talking about. We want to put your stories out there. And so whether it's reading the articles written by Charlottesville Tomorrow or Vinegar Hill Magazine, or tuning in to In My Humble Opinion on Sundays on 101.3 Jams from noon to 3 p.m., either way, we want you engaged. We want you to be part of this. The community can also support the SIM project through funding.
IMHO Talk Show. Sir Charles, Miss Max, Razor.
You're listening to In My Humble Opinion with Maxilia Robinson and Charles Lewis. Only on 101.3 Jams.
IMHO Talk Show. Sir Charles, Miss Max, Razor.
You're listening to In My Humble Opinion with Maxilia Robinson and Charles Lewis. Only on 1013 Jams.
IMHO Talk Show. Sir Charles, Miss Max, Razor.
You're listening to In My Humble Opinion with Maxilia Robinson and Charles Lewis. Only on 1013 Jams.
IMHO Talk Show. Sir Charles, Miss Max, Razor.
You're listening to In My Humble Opinion with Maxilia Robinson and Charles Lewis. Only on 1013 Jams.
IMHO Talk Show. Sir Charles, Miss Max, Razor.
You're listening to In My Humble Opinion with Maxilia Robinson and Charles Lewis. Only on 1013 Jams.
IMHO Talk Show. Sir Charles, Miss Max, Razor.
You're listening to In My Humble Opinion with Maxilia Robinson and Charles Lewis. Only on 1013 Jams.
We live in a society in which structural racism is a very real thing. We are all dealing with that in every aspect of our lives, and the media is a reflection of our community.
Historically, black people have been portrayed a certain way in the media to justify normative assumptions around political and social issues.
More black people behind the cameras, in front of the cameras, more producers, more people of color producing, so they can go and get the content that's needed so they can highlight our attributes.
I've been in this industry for 15 years, and I've seen firsthand how our voices just aren't heard. Even if you're in the newsroom, sometimes you get completely ignored and stereotypes are allowed to perpetuate. And one thing we want to do is combat that, and also bring information to people so they can be as informed as possible when choices are made in this city, so they can do whatever they can to get their voices heard.
What I believe can be done about the situation is to have more people of color creating news stories, more people who have a interest in and a social consciousness that relates to the stories that they're telling.
Charlottesville Tomorrow looks at these issues, we can present them on IMHO. Vinegar Hill Magazine can take that a step further, and just together we can just make this thing that can be an example of how we can change the media landscape, how we can be more inclusive to get these voices in, to get these people heard. That's just one thing that doesn't happen in so many places, and it's a shame.
We think we live in a society that's very progressive, and we're talking about equity and diversity and inclusion and all of these things. Still, the way that black people, and I would say, and I would argue, especially black men, are portrayed by the media is incredibly dangerous, and you've seen the sort of tangible violence that it's led to over the past year.
The community can support the SIM project by first and foremost giving us an opportunity. We understand that it can be difficult to give trust right now, especially considering the current social and political environment. But this project will only be as successful as the community allows it to be. And so we ask you to give us the opportunity to do the work, critique the work, and make sure that we stay in line with the vision. Another way that the community can get behind the SIM project is through engagement. We want to hear from you. We want to know what you're talking about. We want to put your stories out there. And so whether it's reading the articles written by Charlottesville Tomorrow or Vinegar Hill Magazine, or tuning in to In My Humble Opinion on Sundays on 101.3 Jams from noon to 3 p.m., either way, we want you engaged. We want you to be part of this. The community can also support the SIM project through funding. To learn more about how to support SIM, you can visit our website. Thank you for your support.
Yeah, buddy, back like we never left. I to the ism, H to the Izzo talk show. How y'all feeling?
Good, good.
Yeah.
Good, good.
Good stuff, good stuff.
Waiting on this young Malcolm X.
Is that what it is? Man, that's a high bar right there.
Yeah.
I mean, but like some people, earn it. Some people's reputation precedes them, as they say. And so, y'all really could be anywhere, but you chose to be here. We appreciate that. And one of the reasons that we even are here and have a platform that you can tell your friends right now, text them, tell them IMHO talk shows in the last hour of 2025 and got big things popping. In part due to this man on the line with us right now, Sarad Davenport. Can you hear us, good brother?
Yeah, no doubt. Good to be here.
How you feeling today, bro?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. I'm, sipping on some green tea.
Oh, green tea. I know what he was gonna say. Okay.
Man, it's Sunday, so although I have to remind people all the time that in the first miracle, water was turned into wine in the first.
Okay, now we say about that, Deacon Razor.
Hey,
leave it alone. Just let it go. We're gonna drink tea today.
I use the same story when my kids ask me why am I drinking wine.
Yeah.
I'm about to mess up somebody's happy home. Look at me.
Yeah,
funny.
But Brother Sarad, as you know, man, IMHO is in a year of celebration, man. We 10 years in, good brother. And thanks to you, you were one of our first guests. So definitely much obliged for that. And then it's also the year 2025 wrap up, right? And so as we look into 26, man, there's just so much to be thankful for, right? And for people to really embrace this holiday season. That's really what it's about, is because there's just so much love that's given, because if we look at not the pagan side, right, but the religious side of this time of year, we talk about what some would say was the greatest gift given, right, is why we celebrate this season. So want to give you your flower. You're yet another person we want to give flowers, man, like while we still can smell them, because not only we the first guest, but through this journey, this 10-year, man, we have grown a media ecosystem together. Vinegar Hill Magazine has seen new heights, right? We partnered with Charlottesville Tomorrow. Razor had to twist you in Eddie's arms, but y'all came on board,
Yeah, they wasn't having that.
but just like, I don't know if you've dwelled on it, along with us, Sarad, but like when you think about even Vinegar Hill, right, 10 years ago, and then would develop with the relationship with IMHO, coming into this Charlottesville inclusive media where we're trying to bring all these entities of storytellers together and just communicators, within their own rights, man. How you feeling about that, today, as we celebrate 10 years, and then even with us, it's 5 years for CIM, isn't that right? No, I guess it's six because
years.
it was like 2018 is when the conversation started. 2019, I think it was the first grant we became kind of official, right? Yeah. But maybe Angelique is 4 to 5 years. When did Angelique come on your board?
No. Angelique on there with me. She came on like the day after me.
Yeah. So we still talking about 5 years. So we 10 and 5 years. Okay.
Yeah, about six.
All right, cool. Yeah, but up there, but Sarad, like, all the celebrating the things going on this season, brother. Like, how you feeling? How you feeling about when you think about the media landscape and how it's grown?
Well, the first thing I wanted to say was congratulations to y'all, man. Y'all deserve y'all flowers, man. Straight up. And a lot of credit. I know the history of the organization and IMHO as a talk show, and Max, like transforming, that idea into a reality, and you all building the team and holding the team together. I think some people don't know kind of what it takes to build a team, hold a team together. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's so much that happens behind the scenes that you really have to like shore up. So to get to a decade, to get to a 10, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like Nori on Drink Champs. Like, stop it up for that. You know what I'm saying?
Clap it up. Big fact.
Straight up. So, and then I've known Charles, a while back, but just meeting Troy and Max and even Aaron, I feel like y'all have always it's never been stressful. You know what I mean? It's always been kind of like family. We've had like things we've had to work through, but we just talk through things, and it's always been like family. So I feel like that's big for me, like, because I'm always trying to like build relationships with people that are real and not like superficial, and and I try to stack my friendships. When we get 10, I'm trying to get 20 years, because 20 years that builds trust. Things are about trust. And nobody's perfect, but you can overcome some of those obstacles in life, when you got that real trust. And occasionally, you have to make those withdrawals in relationships to say like, nah, that didn't feel right for me. But you can't do that unless you've built that trust over the years. And I feel like that's certainly something we have built. And I'm just happy for you all. I'm happy to be a part of what you have done and the history that you made over the past 10 years.
Appreciate it, man. And Seville tomorrow celebrating 25 years. So this is just like, just like a cultivated year, right? It's just like a milestone of a year. It's 2025, man. So joined by none other than Sarad Davenport. I'm trying to think, Max, like, what were we talking to Sarad about 10 years ago? Like, was that when you first like really started pushing like the digital media and like the website and stuff for Vinegar Hill magazine? Because we had to have you on for something. Like, I know you were getting into the ministry deeper and stuff like that, but 10 years ago, being one of the first guests, Sarad it popping.
So 10 years ago, I was still at City of Promise.
It was City of Promise conversation. Okay.
I was at City of Promise. I was just kind of helping out with Vinegar Hill, kind of in the background. I wasn't even like letting people know that. I was just helping because I didn't want to like, I wanted it to kind of stand on its own, but I was just supporting Eddie and kind of a few of the other grassroots members of, Vinegar Hill, helping to put that forward. But my primary work then was City of Promise. I was leading a congregation at that time out in South Alabama, so I was doing that at the same time. So a lot going on, but I was just trying to help people. Plus, I was still in my 30s, so I was still growing. I was young. I was a lot. I feel like now that I'm on the other side of 45, like coming up on 50, I feel like, I was so naive then. I feel like I was so young. And a lot of good happened when I was young, but I feel like, sometimes you look back like, I might have tweaked that a little bit, but I was doing a lot, in community. I was fearless at that time, without a doubt. I was like deep in community, supporting people on the ground, both in you know, kind of the faith community and also the community broadly. So I was outside.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
How many years has it been since his album?
Oh, you
Yeah.
talking about music?
Yeah.
So I had this one run, like
7 years.
It was like 2018 when I started
Okay.
fooling with the music a little bit. And yeah, I just had to get all of that out too. I had all this like creativity kind of bound up in me, and I was, you know, I'll be honest with you. I talked to my therapist. I was like, yo, people gonna be confused. They're gonna be like, yo, what is he doing? And so
everything.
And my therapist is like, yo, are you doing anything negative? Are you hurting anybody through what you're doing? This might be a way for you to process some of these things that are going on in your mind so you can, you know, continue to be healthy. And I was like, you know what? I'm not hurting nobody. You know, everything that I'm gonna say is gonna be edifying, uplifting, you know what I mean? So like, you know, I kind of went with it, and it was definitely liberating. I don't feel like it's something that I'm like rushing to do now, but at that moment I needed that to like release some things and like about my own life and my own trauma and the things I was processing in my mind. I needed that outlet for that. It was like 2 years where I did like 4 albums in 2 years, and it was very helpful. It cleaned it, like internally. I got a certain level of, I think, clarity and, you know, what they call it, catharsis. A little bit of that, so it was helpful for me. So I could talk to you now without the pain. You know, some people like be talking through their pain, and you could still like. And it's not to say I ain't still working through some things, right? But like that heavyweight stuff, I was able to like unload, so I can be clear with people and be fully present with people. So that really helped me to be more fully present with people. So.
That's life, man. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I know one of the things we wanted to talk about was within that, and you mentioned it too. Like, when did you get on this this entrepreneurship journey, man? Because as you were saying, like, you kind of, and maybe that was City of Promise, right? Like, because you founded that. So, you know, being that you founded, but then since then you branched off into many endeavors. So talk a little bit about, you know, about that journey.
Bro, I was born an entrepreneur, man. Like when I was a kid, I mean, you'll see, you know, I had me a landscaping company when I was young. I I did 4 seasons, you know what I mean? Cut grass, rake leaves in the fall, shovel snow in the winter, you know what I mean? And all year round, I had a team. So, you know, even then, I had a team. I was hiring little young people from the community to go out, paying people. I had a staff just before. And then, not to mention in school, you know, my mom looks at me strange now, but I used to be the candy, you know, one of the candy. I used to get money because I had when I was in school, I had I bought with the store in my neighborhood. So when they did so a lot of people was purchasing retail price, but I was purchasing at the price that the store received it. So I never sold candy. I had employees, because I wasn't getting my candy at retail price. So I could make as much as everybody else because I didn't have to pay retail price for it in the first place. So I just go to school, collect money. So, you know, like, I've been being an entrepreneur, like, like all my life, man. I mean, when I met you, Charles, I was doing the photography and the graphic design, you know what I mean? And, you know, I just always been in that mindset that, like, nobody is gonna give it to me. I gotta grind. I think I get that from my mom. My mom was a grinder. You know, my mom retired with a pension at age 53. Nice. So you gotta think about that. Like, so, and then she went back to work and retired again with a 401k. So like, my mom was like, she was like, it was no excuses. Not to mention, you know, like, you know, my family broadly, everybody, a lot of people in my family just go getters. They go get it. No excuses.
Yeah, I feel you. Because Razor, we're in this landscape, man, where I've seen so much growth, you know, like within us as individuals, as well as as well as a collective. And like, I'm big on networking, and I feel like, like you're only as strong as your weakest link. I'm like all the, sayings that you can think of when it comes to that, because when we look at how things have changed, like our landscape has changed, business, like your business has grown, started new ones, right? Like since the show started, right? All that good stuff.
Sarad got part to play in that.
Right? Sarad, and he's done the same, so that's one of the examples.
Hey, ain't nobody, listen, let me tell the whole world, ain't nobody more entrepreneurial than Troy Robinson. Listen, y'all boys out, listen. Troy be having a lot going on. I was like, yo, Troy got Order Up, and then you go to Troy got a barbershop, and Troy got this, and Troy got that. I was like, yo, that's what I be trying to tell people that's from the city. Listen, people from the city, them people from the country be making it happen. I'm telling you, y'all be sleeping on them people from the, from the country that y'all got on this show, right? I'm telling you, listen, them people from the country is no joke. I just want to let y'all know. I thought I was doing something, and I started looking at people from the country, like the surrounding counties. I was like, nah, they moved totally at a whole nother level.
So I think you just called him a hustler. That's pretty much what it is.
I ain't talking about him, to you two, all y'all.
All
them counties.
Appreciate that. No, so but but that being said, just the entrepreneurship spirit, man. Like let's talk a little bit about that, because growth is something that I think that we all agree with and want to see. It's even been a common theme and common thread, not just through the history of the show, but even today. When we're talking to folks and we like, man, you start at one point, things make it hard, but you don't give up. Sometimes like one stage may be preparing you for a stage you weren't even aware of that was going to be a talent of yours, right? So Sarad, like when you think about the different like pots that you all have boiling all at the same time, right? Like how do you think that we kind of grow that spirit, right, within Charlottesville, especially at a time where we looking at a climate to where like you gotta hustle, right? It's like people losing jobs, losing benefits. It's like you don't know if you're gonna be able to retire and all that kind of thing. So like just that independence, right? Whether it's group economics or whether it's just your own financial literacy, man. Like what can you share about that?
All right, so a couple things. I think it's gonna be a shock to many.
Okay.
We have to lose that word hustle. Let me tell you why. Because oftentimes we're hustling, but we're not building systems. And I mean hustling, in a very legal aspect of that term. I just want to get that clear. But
were you following? Okay. I'm glad you clarified that for Razor.
Whoever. Right? Everything's above board, right? So but I think we have to build systems and understand organizations, infrastructure, back office, taxes, human resources, scaling. You know what I'm saying? And those things, when you're and then also quality of life, right? Because if you always running around, you're never gonna have time to really
enjoy
the quality of life.
That's true.
But also when you get that break, that peace, watch the peace and the space actually opens you up to be and do more.
Amen.
Right. And so when we gotta shift our thinking on kind of like this, just grind and hustle and build systems and institutions that I heard Aaron talking earlier. He kind of went to that, build systems, institutions that will outlast you.
Yeah.
Right. And that are bigger than the person or the personality. Are you building things like that? So that's one thing I think we have to do. I think that the other thing we have to do is
can you hold that second thought so I can interject there? How much of that is the rat race though? How much can you talk to our people about sometimes we think that we got to get things and we think that we got to make money to buy things, and but it's stuff that we don't even really need. Keeping up with the Joneses.
Well, I think COVID taught a lot of us a lot. I know it taught me that everything that I thought I needed, I didn't need. You know what I mean? And what I noticed in COVID was like, yo, if we weren't able to spend. You know what I mean? Like we kind of get back used to, and you were able to like see, and it made me think like, oh, we over consuming in so many ways, and we need to be producers more than consumers, right? You have to produce more than you consume, because if you consume more than you produce, then what that creates is a deficit in your bank account. And then like when you have financial struggles, it plays out in your relationships. Listen, I know it.
Yes, Lord.
I talk to people all the time, be like, yo, what's the primary source of a lot of people's conflict in their relationships? It's money, yo. And so like, you know, we have to put a new value, first of all, like on our peace, such that we don't like become over consumed. And I'm not saying that it's easy, it's hard. You know what I mean? It's hard, even for me, especially when I'm managing, because I'm a minimalist. Like I'm good with like, no, I came from poverty, so I don't require as much as maybe some other people might do. I'm good, you know, with like a crust of bread and a corner to sleep in. You know what I mean? Like I could make it. I could survive. I'm a survivor, right? But you know, sometimes when you're in a relationship with others, they might not be like that, and so you got to find that balance. So that's one thing. I don't know how I got there, but the thing I was going to say before is I think that we have to understand that failure is not final, right? And sometimes the only way you're going to get the lessons is if you fail. I would say the biggest lessons I've learned, my first business license I got when I first got out of college, I was like 22 or something. And it was a disaster for like the first 10 years of me thinking I knew what I was doing and I didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like just messing up, but you gotta mess up in order to learn. And some people aren't willing to take the risk to mess up because
it's just pruning.
Yeah, you never learn, or either that, be humble enough to really listen and learn from people who already did what you're trying to do. Instead of like always thinking you don't know Eric. And I, you know, like, and I was one of those people who really thought I was smart. You know what I'm saying? So like, you gotta like, you're gonna bump your head and you're gonna mess up and you're gonna be like, just get back up. And don't give up just because you failed at something. That's not the end of it. But also learn to be humble enough to listen to other people who already did what you're trying to do. I mean, that's half the battle.
Yeah. I think Will Smith famously said that about the most successful people that you look at and you idolize, like they failed way more than they succeeded.
I'm telling you, this is what I tell people all the time. Listen, you got to understand. Sarad is a mess, yo. I'm a mess.
Me too.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I want you to know that. Like, I'm a mess. But the thing about my mess is I'm really trying to actively confront myself on a daily basis. Whether that's financial, it's just like, you know, just like look in the mirror and be like, you know, to be open and honest and say, you know what, I'm a mess. You know what I'm saying? To say like, all right, but what you gonna do about that?
I feel you.
Hey, Sarad.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question real quick when it comes to our community, right? Yeah. I can remember a time when like you and like what y'all are talking about, when people starting their own business and becoming self-sufficient, right? But then you looked at the people who weren't entrepreneurs and you say, okay, she going to college, he going to college, but sending them for like the trades, like everything that you just named, like knowing taxes, knowing HR, knowing these things, sending these children to school for that so that they can come back and manage the businesses in your community. Why is it so hard to develop that mindset of collective thinking to where our community either doesn't understand, can't get past emotion, think that the white man's ice is cola, so to speak, to be able to invest in ourselves totally? Because while you're learning business and making something stable for them to come back and manage, them understanding that I'm going back and I'm going to help my community and my community is going to pay me so that I can then take care of myself. Why is that so difficult for people with melanated skin?
You know, I don't know if there's a clear answer, but this is my method to handle that, Troy. I said to myself, because I try to hold myself accountable. I said, well, who are you purchasing from? Who are you going to get your everyday staples from? Who your insurance man? Who is your broker? Who's your real estate agent? You know what I'm saying? Like, so like for all of us that have that question that you just asked, what if all of us asked those questions that I just asked you? And then like, so we asking the question outward, but what if all of us that have that question ask the question inward? And so I think that I'm big on like modeling appropriate behavior, right?
Gotcha.
To say like, all right. I mean, I you know, pastor, I heard a pastor say one time before, I'd rather see a sermon than hear a sermon any day. So people be doing a whole lot of talking and complaining. I'm like, nah, well, what's your action behind it? So, okay, so then you got to go put your money where your mouth is. Because I do believe that, you know, you do help to build families and you build economies in communities when you do support their businesses. When people come and buy and order up, I hope that so many people do it that, man, your kids have an amazing Christmas or whatever you want to do for your family. You know what I'm saying? Like, I that's what I want. First of all, we gotta want that for each other. We gotta say, I don't want just me to be looking like I'm doing good. I want actually people to be doing good.
Preach.
And I'm good with somebody else doing good. I'm good even if somebody doing better than me. Ooh. Like, I'm good if somebody's doing better. I'm really okay with that. I'm not tripping. That's amazing.
And the key to that for me, man, is setting the example, right? And I think I heard y'all already mention that, but I don't want to take that lightly, right? Because sometimes we're looking for a big bang and we be like, why can't we as a people do this? Or why can't the community do that, right? And sometimes it takes 4 of us to set an example.
Hey, well, before you go on, what Andre 3000 say?
Oh, big things start in little rooms?
Little room.
Yeah.
4 people, little room, change the world.
Yeah. Like, but as soon as somebody be like, Charles jipped me, Troy ain't show up, Max told people, you know, like not to support, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, as long as we doing that, like within, think about it, if just a few of us can't get it right, then what's gonna make the larger community want to do something?
Especially if we're the ones that they're listening to, we have the ear. You know what I'm saying? That's something that I've recently become cognizant of is, do I really support you? And if I don't agree with what you're doing, how can I exit respectfully, so to speak? You know what I'm saying? And that wasn't me. If I didn't mind pulling teeth, I didn't mind being a kid that got mad and take my ball home on game point and don't care. You know what I'm saying? But now that I realize that I do have the ear of people that I don't know that are even looking, I try to be more respectful in all my approaches, even if I'm getting it wrong and doing what was familiar to me. You know, I'm like, okay, wait a minute, let me try to fix this. But you understand that in human nature, people, once the emotion gets in tied with it, that's where they want to live. And you have to learn how to not live where they're living, especially when it comes to business, you know. And because there's a lot of people whose businesses have failed that don't want to support your business because the community didn't support them.
Right. Facts.
You know, so I've seen that, especially being a person who's not from this area, but like a transplant in. You have to be respectful that they failed because they didn't take the time to learn business. I'll wear Sarad's phone out.
Oh, he know.
Asking questions, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes I just need him to tell me that I'm wrong, because I'm still going to do what I'm gonna do unless somebody tells me that they're wrong, that I'm wrong, and why.
Look, Sarad is one of the few people, maybe besides my mama, that can look me in the face and be like, "Stop it." Like I ain't lying. Like I've had conversations. I've had conversations with Sarad, and I try to get him to justify my foolishness, and he looked me in the face and said, "Stop it." I said, "All right, brother."
Another part of that, of us being able to like be supportive and a champion of another person's like goals or endeavors or whatnot, a mission, is just like a healthy way of thinking about it, right? It really is just a healthy way of thinking about somebody else being successful. I don't know if it's a way of the world to gravitate towards the negative that you might be able to find in a situation. But yeah, first of all, admitting where you are with things, Sarad, I've definitely been there where a couple years ago, maybe maybe more than that. Like, I'm a mess. All right, now let me put this mess in order and fix my issues. And I think that when a person can be that real with themselves, it allows them to be more giving of themselves to those around them, even if that giving just is a matter of supporting or rooting for someone to be successful. But
love it. Appreciate that, Miss Max. And Sarad, so speaking of which, folks, I know they're pretty well versed, since we come into a close, folks are well versed on Vinegar Hill Magazine. So y'all make sure, if you don't know, vinegarhillmagazine.com and sign up for that membership, right? So you can stay connected. I think folks know like that you are a facilitator and a consultant.
Translator.
Davenport, what's it? Davenport Strategic Solutions.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you do that. And then you got the Creator Hub. Right. So talk about because that's brand spanking new, as the old folks used to say. Talk country up in here.
That's what he said.
Brand spanking new. The Creator Hub, brother. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So I have a concern, about like people being able to develop some kind of what we're talking about, like this economy, right? That you can. And I operate in the creator space in a lot of respects. I think, media is a creator space. I work with a lot of marketing people and graphic designers, and I think that there's an economy around that, the creator economy. People can go look up that. It's like going to be a multi-billion-dollar industry. And I was like, you have these co-working spaces, but you don't have a co-working space that's dedicated to like people in the creator space and the creator economy. So, I've been thinking about ways to like create a community around that with like the Creator Hub, which has a podcast studio, conference room, and just a co-working space so that these people can get together and kind of cross-pollinate ideas while they're working on their, whatever they're doing with their business. Because it's like you got an architect in there, a marketing company in there, and a few artists. And they're just sharing ideas with each other and coming up with great ideas to build their economy. And then also, hopefully, it will be something that will inevitably take care of their respective families. And so, like, that's the whole idea, is to let people know in this creator economy that's continuing to grow that there's a space for you. And you don't have to necessarily go to Starbucks. You might like Starbucks or Panera or whatever, but you could come to the Creator Hub. We got coffee, we got water, and we got creative people that are always there just kind of connecting. And I just wanted to like, that's just something that kind of came about just through kind of talking with others and sharing ideas.
Well, I've personally been to the space, the grand opening of it. I think it is wonderful. I could, in just laying eyes on it, the feeling was, I could create in here. Like it kind of draws that out of you, if that makes any sense. And I think we also, as people, need to understand the value of creativity, because it literally permeates. Yeah, you can work with numbers all day, things that a person might assume are just, kind of black and white, but creativity is in everything. And creativity is how we will solve the world's problems. And better creativity is how we'll run this country. And better, it permeates everything. And folks need to understand that, because they hear creative and they think some paint or a canvas or some colored pencils, and it's so much more than that. You can work on Wall Street but still have to have that creative element to make what you do that much better.
Well said. Especially safe spaces for us to be creative, right? With each other. Yeah. So good stuff. So, man, thank you for joining us, Sarad. And as we come to a close of this 25, Kanisha, Reza, Max, Sarad, any final words, closing words, anything that's been said today that y'all may want to touch on, are all hearts and minds clear?
Yeah. Why don't we let Sarad go first?
Sarad, you go first.
Like you talking about where Aaron, you was like, oh, I got something to say.
I mean, I'll just say that congratulations again to you all for this milestone. I appreciate you all for allowing me to be a part of your journey. I don't necessarily say I'm proud of people that I feel like are like my friends, but I'm inspired by you, and like you all are part of the people that keep me going, and I appreciate you. I stand in appreciation. I'm grateful for you, and keep doing what you're doing, and however I can be supportive, I got your back, however I can help.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Hey, that's a good way to close it. What y'all think?
It is.
All hearts and minds are clear.
I think so. I mean, we'll be right back at it.
You won't be a preacher so bad, man.
New year, new year, we'll be right back at it. Same mission, but improved in a lot of different ways. And I'm good. Things feel settled with the way IMHO ended is ending in 2025. I think we've done a good job, and we've reached a lot of people, and added some quality to their life through the information that we're sharing, platform that we provide. So
only thing I want to add is I would love for the community, the listening base, be it online in the Charlottesville broadcasting area, to become more involved with IMHO. Let us know what means something to you. If you have supported us for 10 years in some form or fashion, you have a right to be able to tell us what you would like for us to talk about, in my humble opinion. These are the conversations that makes us family. So
love it. Good. You good, Kanisha?
Give us something.
All right. Hey, look, y'all give it up. We too got to give it up for our young production assistant. Kanisha.
Yeah, thank you.
Join us. We got to rock out with it. We got big things popping. Y'all just wait and see. That's right. They don't even know. There's gonna be like a facelift to IMHO.
Talking about the gun line, boss.
Y'all just wait. Look. We gonna make sure they come back.
Oh, okay.
We won't tell them too much. Yeah. All right. Everybody good?
Everybody's good.
Everybody's good.
Take care of yourself, Charlottesville.
We live in a society in which structural racism is a very real thing. We are all dealing with that in every aspect of our lives, and the media is a reflection of our community.
Historically, black people have been portrayed a certain way in the media to justify normative assumptions around political and social issues.
More black people behind the cameras, in front of the cameras, more producers, more people of color producing, so they can go and get the content that's needed so they can highlight our attributes.
I've been in this industry for 15 years, and I've seen firsthand how our voices just aren't heard. Even if you're in the newsroom, sometimes you get completely ignored and stereotypes are allowed to perpetuate. And one thing we want to do is combat that, and also bring information to people so they can be as informed as possible when choices are made in this city, so they can do whatever they can to get their voices heard.
What I believe can be done about the situation is to have more people of color creating news stories, more people who have a interest in and a social consciousness that relates to the stories that they're telling.
Charlottesville Tomorrow looks at these issues. We can present them on IMHO. Vinegar Hill Magazine can take that a step further, and just together we can just make this thing that can be an example of how we can change the media landscape, how we can be more inclusive to get these voices in, to get these people heard. That's just one thing that